Hey everybody, we're here. It's time to play some Shadowrun, I think. My name is Bobby, and also here with me is Sarah, and that's about it right now. The others are here, they just got up.
They're slackers.
Yeah, I think they went to get something to drink. Here comes
Quit.
Mr. Johnson, and here comes
All
Opti.
right.
Say hello.
All right. Stop talking about him.
What's up, players?
Yeah, we weren't making fun of you.
That's all right.
I know it's
You
all
do
right because
you.
we weren't making fun of you. But anyway, we're
It's
getting.
okay if you were, because I am fine. Like I'm immune to your toxins.
Well, Jin isn't immune to rat toxins, huh? Huh?
That's a good one, Bobby.
That's a.
Hot take, bro.
um, anyway, we're here to play some Shadowrun 6th edition. How many of you in the chat room got to see some of our streamathon this weekend? That was some stuff right there. I had a lot of fun with that. Everybody here participated in that. What do you guys think after the streamathon? Now it's over.
I'm still not recovered from it.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel still like dragon.
I had fun.
I need some dragon piss.
Oh god.
The
I had fun. I don't hate myself quite as much as I think you guys do.
I think it was our best one yet.
I agree. I would have done some stuff differently. Probably about 50% less Bobby over the whole thing.
Yeah. Me too.
I think it would have
done
good for Bobby.
less me also. Because it would have been good for me. Yeah. So I streamed for like 25 of the 36 hours, but I actually was awake for about 34 of the 36 hours, maybe 35.
He hops on like later on. And he goes, "Hey guys," and we're like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "I couldn't sleep. I just threw up instead."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh my
that
God.
sucks. Like,
yeah.
Like what does that look like when you stay for 36 hours and your body's like, go to sleep, and you're like, no, I'm busy throwing up instead. Like, how awful. Like that's like the worst.
That's what happened. It was like, oh, I'm so glad this is over. I get to go to sleep. But let me eat a sandwich. And then I went between my bed and the toilet for like 2 hours. But that's what we do to bring you the content.
Bobby is martyring himself right now. I threw up after 36 hours for you guys.
Yeah. It definitely was. It definitely wasn't one.
Forget that it was 36 hours of you guys giving us money.
That's what I'm saying. It definitely wasn't that we were trying to get all your guys' money. Thank you, by the way, so much for helping us reach our goal and exceed it. Amazingly, we got to I think about $4,700. Our goal was $4,000. We reached our first stretch goal at $4,500, which is going to allow us to redo the website, which is desperately needed. So thank you so much. I would also want to issue an apology to any of you here who were watching any of my attempts at doing 6th edition analysis here and there. Who knew that with very little sleep, you can't do a great job at digging deep into the new edition's rules? Who knew?
I would also like to apologize to anybody who showed up for that hour that was supposed to go to Streetpedia. And Bobby's like, well, that's about 5 minutes of the Streetpedia. That's enough.
I spent about 5 minutes talking about
we're done with that old horse.
I was like, 5 minutes of, Streetpedia is really cool. Here's what you might use it for. Hey, you guys want to read a section of Streetpedia now? Okay, now that we're done with that, let's talk about other things.
Let's talk about coffee. Let's talk about
our character creation segment thing was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was the best of the 6th edition preview stuff that we did. You had fun with that, Mr. Johnson?
I did. I didn't catch the rest of it because I was like, DJing someone's wedding reception.
Yeah. What we did was we created some 6th edition character live on the stream. We did most of all the important work when I did it with Mr. Johnson, because we had a little bit more time and we were kind of like working together to do it. But we made what did we make? A Technomancer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
It was the Technomancer. It had some other. I think it was a Technomancer face. Is what we did.
Yeah, that's right. We got a suggestion from the chat room. Made a Technomancer face, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. So but we did that. We got it done, and I'm very happy and proud that we did it. But
CG40K says still mad Opti isn't in the Streetpedia. Like, he totally is. He wrote the first part. He wrote the anarchist introduction.
Awesome.
But it's like supposed to be anonymous. Like, nobody's going to talk about the anarchists aren't going to talk about themselves in the book that's written by them for no. It's not. But, anyway,
but when I hit them up directly on like a stream or something, and they're totally going to brag about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was me.
So, yeah, Ryapel saying, I won't forget our Friday night, Mr. Johnson. And yeah, I got to GM Mutants Masterminds for, everybody here except for Bobby, and also then including Ryapel, which is fun, which is Thomas.
Is he talking about that, or is he talking about the Clue? And
then there's Clue, where, yes, he and I had a romantic encounter in charter. I was not terribly romantic. I was very much in character as the Mr. Green that I was referring to, but yes.
Yeah.
It was beautiful that it's now headcanon forever.
Yeah. Headcanon what? Yeah. Every time you play Clue, or just that Thomas
Mr. Green
and Cliff have a
Mr. Green and Miss Scarlet playing that out.
Yeah, I think that's probably the first and last time I will be playing Clue. Most likely.
So
I'm so surprised that you had never played it before. That boggled my mind.
I just never gotten around to it, I guess. I mean, I played plenty of other crappy board games from the past.
Yeah.
Which
I don't remember it being
Clue is pretty good as far as... Yeah, it's actually not bad. I mean, the roll and move mechanic was dumb, and I don't understand why that's there at all. But other than that, it's actually a pretty good game. I was surprised. Like, unlike pretty much all the other board games of its generation, it's not complete garbage.
You know what the worst is? Monopoly is the worst, because not only does it frustrate people and like cause marriages to break up, but like it actually doesn't do what it was supposed to do. Like, it was supposed to teach you that monopolies are bad and look at how awful this is. But instead, it just made kids like go, you know what? I have to cheat to get ahead.
Yeah,
and it's awful. It's bad.
Well, to be fair, I mean, like, there weren't that many other board games that existed when Monopoly came out, so it should have just been forgotten, like all the other crappy games that people thought of at that time. It just didn't, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know why Monopoly decided to stick.
Why it decided to stick around.
It has its own agency.
Yeah. It's because you get to live your dream of being a capitalist.
Winning capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say if you want to play a board game that is like kind of similar to Monopoly, like where you're like gathering stuff and like there's some random elements, but you're getting money and trying to like, out tycoon your opponents. Machi Koro is really awesome for that. Like, for me, Machi Koro scratches the itch that Monopoly should, but is also fun.
But it's also fun. I like that. Yeah.
I think of the old board games, I think Risk is my favorite, and in particular, Risk Legacy, I think is one of my favorite games of all time.
I like Risk, but it's the game that never ends. Like, I don't want to play a game for 12 hours.
Yeah, that's why I liked Risk Legacy, because like there's objectives and like the game ends pretty solidly after an hour or two, no matter what you. But also like the game itself, like the overall game will last 15 games. You keep coming back to it, and like it changes based on what you did in the previous game. I love this.
I did lose an arm this year in the Paranoia game, CG40K. Did I do that? You said again. Did I lose an arm last year too? Is this a thing?
Probably. I mean,
I guess
we all lost entire bodies.
Yeah, I guess it's not that far of a stretch to think that you would lose an arm in a game of Paranoia.
Like, I'm pretty sure all of our clones were flush, so technically we all lost a dozen arms.
Yeah. I think One of us, was it Sarah? Was it you? No, you were. I think you did all right. No, somebody was on like their 6th clone by the end. I can't remember who that was.
No, yeah, it wasn't me. I still had like 1 or 2 left, maybe. I
forget who. It wasn't me.
There was so much death.
I had 1 clone that was flushed that never got to actually walk around. But
it might have been Butt.
I'm sorry.
It might have been Butt.
Butt. Yeah, Butt our fly.
I was gonna say, Bobby, if you're still, it looks like you're still kind of doing all setup stuff, but in the meantime, I think all of us could just plug what we have going on at the moment.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Let's do that right at the top, and then we'll get started. I can't seem to get the dice rolls showing for some silly reason, but I'm not going to be beat up about that. So I'll work on it while you guys are talking. If not, oh well.
Yeah, Sarah, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about what is going on with you and Rem Alternis?
So, some people may have seen a video post to Shadowrun 6th World. That was totally not my fault. It's totally my fault.
What video are you talking about? I don't even know.
It was so fun. If you go to shadowrun6world.com, it's up now. It was our first gig with Catalyst, and Shadowrun exclusively. So, really nice timing. We are actually 15 days from our Kickstarter launch for a cyberpunk fantasy series. So the connection is really helpful, and I think that's going to be really nice for us. And that's been a lot of fun. There might be more work with Catalyst coming, so that's really exciting too. But I've been a little bit busy and sleep deprived, but really excited too.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's very exciting. Opti, what's going on with you? I hear that there's been a lot of, I'm allowed to say this now, it's not going to be, I'm not going to be spoiling it before it actually gets released, because it's already underway. There's a lot of crossover Shadowrun audio drama stuff happening, and I think you're a big part of it, right?
As far as I know, there's only one Shadowrun audio drama crossover going on, and yeah, that is between the Neo-Anarchist podcast, of which I'm a part, and the Deniable Assets podcast and Radio Free Detroit. So all of those podcasts are doing a crossover right now with our podcast. It's been going on all of June, and we are right up against the end. So it ends on Saturday, and it has been an emotional ride, and it ties in to what Sarah's doing. The video has to do with the Blackout. That is the Shadowrun 6th edition meta plot, at least the beginning of it. Like, I mean, it's not going to last the entire. I shouldn't say anything. Yeah, so check out if you want to know more. Go watch Sarah's video over at Shadowrun6world.com, and then go start listening to the Blackout. Go to Radio Free Detroit and Deniable Assets, and I assume that you already subscribe to the Neo-Anarchist podcast. And subscribe to those, and then start following them day by day. So, day 1 at Deniable Assets, day 1 at Radio Free Detroit, day 1 at Neo-Anarchist Podcast, and then once they meet up, they will only have 1 episode each. And so we're getting there. It's awesome. It's great. Check it out.
Sounds amazing. And you got anything going on, Mr. Johnson, that you want to talk about before we get started?
Oh, lots of things, but I think I'm eager to dive into this game here. So I'll just mention that I do the Arcology podcast. We've been doing if you're looking for more Shadowrun 6th World Edition coverage, we've got an interview with Jason Hardy up on there, an audio where he talks a lot about it. And we also have quite a few actual play episodes. There's also an actual play with the beginner box that we played sort of in character with the Shadowrun Origins crew. So check that out on Shadowrun Origins, which is a different podcast. Actual play that I GM with Opti and friends.
That one is the most fun. It's amazing.
Also, Earth Dawn is doing a I would think they're still doing the Kickstarter. I think it's still going on.
It is still going on. We're supposed to have Josh on sometime. Yeah.
It's actually funding. It's long funded, and it's gone well into the stretch goals. So it's a safe bet for a Kickstarter. They've done it before. We have lots of experience with it, and And it's going to be a great book, and I know some people who wrote in it.
Yeah, me and
actually,
Rusty Zimmerman wrote some stuff in it.
Yeah, and we actually have an interview with Opti and Josh Harrison, the line editor of Earth Dawn, that we posted to our Legends of Earth Dawn and the Arcology podcast feed. And so I would like to encourage you all, if you're into Shadowrun, I would say check out Earth Dawn as well. It's a lot of fun. Very different from Shadowrun, but we have the Legends of Earth Dawn podcast, just have a fantastic group of players. I GM for that as well. It's another actual play that I do. And that's all Earth Dawn, and it's been a lot of fun. Really great campaign, I think.
I agree.
All right. So thank you guys for helping us out with the Streamathon, and anybody who's wondering if things that they won and perks that they purchased and everything, emails will be going out soon. You will be getting information. We haven't forgotten about you. It's been kind of a hectic week for other reasons behind the scene in the network, but I'm getting to it, and you'll be notified. Raffle winners, probably many of you, if not all of you, have gotten emails already from Cassie Pullhammer. So you'll be seeing that. So let's get going with 6th edition. That's what people are here to watch.
All right, so last we left off, I think we're in the middle of something, weren't we?
Oh my.
You've been hired to retrieve this guy named Matador. Big Dave, who was the fixer, who hired you to go into the CZ to make sure that no one could prove an existing claim on Garland Medical. That was a big, long story. That was a thing. You got that job done. You got another job from Big Dave to go retrieve this Matador guy because he supposedly owes somebody some money. Who cares, right? It's New Yen. You go grab a guy. The trick is he's hiding out within like the turf of this group called the Fleshmongers, a gang rather, and they are not known for being good. They're known for being very, very bad.
Yeah.
They truck with ghouls, they capture people, they chop them up, they sell them to ghouls or Taminus or whoever will give them money for it, or goods or whatever. And they're just dirty and nasty. Some of them are humans, some of them are ghouls.
All of them are bad.
Yeah, they have. They also have some dogs, as Dinan found out while astrally scouting and critically glitching on something or other.
Oh,
That was fantastic.
that was awful. Scary. I almost died.
Yeah, so I think are you all healed up from that?
Yeah, we took our hour rest, and I rolled really well for a change, and so I think I think I'm only at a minus.
If you're gonna roll well on anything, it might as well be healing. So.
Yeah.
Fair.
And because we're at the beginning of a session, all of your edge pool refreshes to what your edge attribute is. So make a note of that.
Noted.
And I still had a 4/6 air spirit with one.
With one service, you cut out right at the end there.
Yeah, just one.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure to be holding down your button longer.
Sorry.
Shake our fingers at you.
Streamer's gonna stream.
Yeah.
Consider me chastised. It's fine.
So,
All right.
So we're getting ready to. We just took out this group of patrols, so to speak, and we're getting ready to ingress into the building, right? Is that the right word?
You were sneaking up to the building to effect your ingress. And I believe that's when you encountered some of these gangers and shot them with noisy guns.
Yeah.
I think there was a dog that went running off, and there were some gangers that were shot and stuff. I'm a little fuzzy in some of the details because I've GM'd like I don't even know how many sessions in between now and then.
Of this and that game.
I'm hoping some of you can help fill in some of those gaps for me.
I think the dog did not get away, did it?
I'm pretty sure I remember the dog running away.
Okay.
The dog got away.
I tried to shoot at it.
Yeah, we stealth, so I'm invisible. Bobby, you hid behind something, and Opti made a crap ton of noise and got
Opti
shot
Leroy
a
Jenkins. The
lot.
Yeah, and
Leroy
so
Jenkins is my mood
yeah.
when I play RPGs.
so you are aware that the gangers kind of have a somewhat heightened state of alertness because of Danan triggering their hellhound alert.
My bad.
And so there's a number of them that are like out and about and patrolling and fairly nearby, including like a truck with some of them. So and you've just made a bunch of noise and taken a bunch of them out. I think you're not necessarily directly in combat at this moment. I think you've taken out the ones that were facing you, or their will to fight is gone, or they're running away.
All right. Rooster.
So you'll have like a moment to regroup, but it's going to be a matter of combat turns before the next batch of them is going to be upon you. So you're going to have to act quickly. What do you do?
All right. We don't have time to think about this and determine whether or not that was a good idea. We just need to get inside the building. Let's go. That's what Rooster says. And then he goes. Inside the building.
I'm gonna start doing what I do and trying to cast invisibility on my very obvious group right now.
I'm gonna follow Rooster.
Okay, so those of you who are not taking actions, you're just running more or less. You can do the sprint action, and your movement is going to be 15 meters plus 1 per hit on a running test. It's athletics plus agility. So Jin and Rooster can each roll that.
Athletics plus agility.
Actually, I'm just gonna have you buy hits. So, just to speed things up and
Sure.
skip on some
I can
dice
buy
rolls.
one.
So
I can buy 2.5.
Okay.
Can I buy half a hit?
no, it's not round. It's in this case, like almost everything else in this game is rounded up. This thing is rounded down. Like
Yeah.
even if it's 3/4 of the way there.
Right.
Dinan, actually, you're just like casting a single spell and then running. So I guess you're just going to be like a little bit behind, maybe a few meters, and then you can do the sprinting, I suppose. What is your dice pool for athletics plus agility?
Athletics plus agility is not.
And when I say buy hits, that's using a rule where instead of rolling dice, you can just divide your dice pool by 4, round off any fraction, and say that's how many hits you got without bothering to roll dice on any test you want. And sometimes the GM will tell you to do that anyway because they want to, be fast.
Like
Or
yeah.
not
I
have
do
you
not
roll something
have-
over and over and over again.
I do not have athletics, but I have a 2 agility.
Oh,
I
okay.
see.
So, you're basically not going to get any hits on buying hits. So you're at 15. So it's going to take you. Let's see. We're going to call it. I have to do math. With the sprinting, it looks like it's going to take like the faster of you, like 6 combat turns to get there. Danan, by the end of it, you're going to be like 2 combat turns worth, or 30 meters away. In 5 combat turns, however, there's, rather, I will say, in 3 combat turns, there's the roaring sound of engines, an engine coming nearby, so you know the truck is on its way. And it'll be upon you pretty soon. Are you going to change your course of action or take it? You basically have like all your minor actions to do like various things, ready things and get them, shift gear around or give orders to spirits if need be, or I don't know.
I am going to have my Spirit of Air help me with movement.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
Yeah, and I know the ghouls will still be able to see us if we're invisible, but I still want to focus on that because at least the humans with them can't, and they don't have a solid target then.
Have we used the movement power yet in this game?
No.
I didn't think we had. Let's see. That's going to be
Pay attention.
probably.
viewers.
Let's see if it's laid out like the 5th edition core book. It's going to be in the wildlife or the NPCs the critters section, because it's a critter power, even though it's a spirit thing. And here we are. Movement. Okay. It looks like it's pretty much exactly the same. It works differently on vehicles than targets. It can multiply your movement by up to its magic attributes. Never mind. You're like super speed. You're gonna get up there, like all the way up to the building, and essentially the spirit will be sustaining the movement power on you for now until you tell it to stop. And yeah, you move like, I don't know, what is it, a 4-6? So like, you know,
Yeah.
6 times. Yeah, 6 times your normal speed. You actually
That's
like.
great.
You have to be careful to avoid tripping on things or like running into like the building and hitting stuff and going splat.
I still had my increased reflexes on me too, so
So that helps with that. Good. I'm not gonna make you roll dice for this, but I remember when Maverick started like doing like super high agility and like movement stuff with spears to like make his running speed like super fast, like faster than cars typically. We're talking like plane fast. I started making him roll dice rolls to see if he would like, not run into light posts and buildings along the way, and using fatigue rules.
well, keep in mind the first time we met Danen, she tripped on a curb getting out of a car. So this, do what you want with that.
Yeah, at some point I may require you to make an athletics plus agility test, and by that I mean agility -1 test.
Yep.
To see if you glitch and run into something.
Because you're a cruel overlord.
But yeah, this is simple enough. You like zip right up to the building.
A mosquito
and
could
you're
blind
waiting
you
for
at
the
that
rest of 'em.
speed.
So
at the Maverick speed. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So like it looks like Jin and sorry, names here. Yeah, Jin and Rooster are going to be a little under 20 meters away, basically 1 turn's worth of sprinting away from the building, when the truck rounds the corner with the headlights on, and basically it looks like they're upon you. So
In that time, are they both invisible now from my casting?
you've made one of them invisible. Did you want to cast it on another one as well?
If I have the turns to do it, absolutely.
Yeah. Did you make sure to make your drain test and everything?
I've been waiting for you just in case, so I need to roll for both of them.
Okay. So yep, roll your dice for casting the spell.
I got
you can note how many hits you got.
5 hits on the first one.
Okay, that's pretty invisible.
Pretty invisible.
3 hits on the drain, which I think I'm okay then.
Does a smoke grenade help with ghouls seeing our auras?
No.
Not at all. Is it improved invisibility or regular invisibility?
It's improved.
Okay, so your drain value on that is 4 then.
4. Yeah, so I got 1 point of drain for that then, and then here's the other one. I got 5 hits again. We're super invisible, guys.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, and the way invisibility
And
works is
another
invisibility
point.
status. You get the invisibility status with the number based on the number of hits, and that's on page 52. You cannot be seen unless, let's see, the number after the status indicates a threshold people must hit on a perception test to notice the character with this status. So it's a perception test of 5 hits to notice Rooster, and how many to notice Jin?
5.
5. Okay, so yeah, the truck roars around the corner, like the lights flash right on Rooster and Jin's position, and then it tears on right in between them and keeps driving.
Yay.
As they do not notice
Nice.
that you're invisible. However, just as it goes past and you think you're free, it stops, and you can hear like yelling, "No! Fraggers have spells on them!"
You missed them.
You have enough time to like scramble into the building, but yeah, you know that like there must have been a ghoul inside the car or somebody.
Do you have like a grenade launcher or a missile launcher? Brewster, I'm talking specifically to you.
No,
I know
do not have a missile
Okay.
launcher or a grenade launcher. I do have a stun and smoke grenades, though.
What are you doing with your life?
If you'd like to duck into the building and keep going with your mission and try to keep ahead of the gangers, you can do so now. We'll not roll initiative. However, if you want to do anything to like stop and fight or slow them down or interfere with them in some way, then I'm going to call for an initiative roll. So what are you doing?
I feel like we should go back into the building. That's my personal feeling.
Agreed.
Yes. And while I was moving, by the way, you said we had lots of minor actions. I didn't want to interrupt you before until you called us out, but I wanted to switch ammo types to explosive ammo since stuff has gone south. Like, things are getting rough.
You have explosive ammo.
Yes,
You just
sir.
said you didn't have a missile launcher. Like, it's pretty much the same thing, right?
Well, maybe to you, but they're different.
Okay. You duck into the building, and then you are immediately hit in the face with the awful stench of this place. Looking around, it's old, decrepit, decaying building itself, but there's like smears of old bioman, like dark. It's like this ancient horror show kind of look, like if you were like a haunted house. Like there's like bits and pieces of like body parts that have been left to rot, and there's a few devil rat that are hanging around and chewing on bits here and there that are old and rotten, and they just kind of look up at you, and like don't even bother getting up and keep chewing on their filthy carrion, and deeper in the building, there's a few things giving off light here and there, so it's not completely dark. Your low light can pick up enough for you to see where you're going, but you almost wish you couldn't, and you're going to want to be careful not to touch anything in here. This is an awful, dirty, gross place.
So since the smell hits you in the face, you're gonna only be soaking damage with your body. Against the smell.
I know. When he said that, I was like,
her think that I was picking on her.
I know, totally. I was like, man, of all the things to get hit in the face with, I'm glad it was a smell.
Yeah, and then the two of you step in, and yeah, you're like, oh, and then like there's like the beams of flashlight start like moving across some of the open gaps where windows should be, and you have to kind of duck down and start, I guess, moving in deeper to try to find your target. How are you going to go about doing that now?
Can one of you maybe hold the door while two more move on, or should we all stick together?
Say that again?
Hold the door.
Can someone hold them from following us in here
Oh,
while the
you
other
mean
two
like-
try to find our target?
Like Overwatch.
Yeah,
At that
against
point,
these-
like one of the gangers like walks right into the doorway, shines his flashlight, and says, "No, I don't see anything. They're not in here."
I resist.
Just
hitting
because
him
you
in the
see
face.
them doesn't mean they're not in there. You fraggy! It's probably a spell. Wave your arms around or something. Stomp your feet. Smell them.
So for whatever reason, this ganger has like a logic of 20,000. He's on top of it.
So this one guy like walks in and starts waving his arm around.
Can I pull
He's
out
got
my,
a gun in that hand.
Can I pull out my my Ares light fire? It's silenced, and shoot him in the brain.
Oh man, we're gonna take it
Sure.
Yeah, it's time to
to
be
take it to
serious.
aggression
right now.
town.
So
This is
you
we
draw
have an
it.
objective.
You draw the gun and you take aim for a moment. We'll say you're definitely getting an edge from the situation. What's your attack rating?
Attack rating for would it be near or close?
I guess you could pick whether or not you want to be, within arm's reach or just out of arm's
Within
reach.
arm's reach is fine, and that's a 10.
All right. Any other? So yeah, that is enough to get you a point of edge. So his defense rating is 5. So you get 2 edge, and you can take your shot.
All right, I do it.
Any other special actions or anything?
No, I mean, I guess I'll take aim if that'll give me. That doesn't increase. That gives me an extra die, doesn't it?
Yeah, per aim action, you can take multiple aim actions with if you have multiple minor actions. I'll let you have a full combat turn's worth.
Actually, I'll say I can't take
wait,
combat round, I should say.
Go ahead.
Can I pause right here? And since we're doing rule stuff, does that mean that you could, if you had 4 extra minor actions, you could take aim 4 times and get 4 extra dice? That's how you're reading it?
There's a limit to how many times you can take advantage of an aim action, and it's either based on your skill or your willpower attribute. I forget which. In SR5, it was your willpower divided by 2.
Okay, but that's a thing. You can just take those actions. You can take multiple aim actions in a single round, as long as you have the minor actions to back it up. That's incredible. Okay.
At least as far as I read it, and looking at the list of minor actions, and let's see, where is it now? It should be.
I don't need you to prove it to me. I was just asking for clarity.
Yes. It's take aim. I was looking for A in the alphabetical order, but yes, you can take aim with the minor action. If you have multiple minor actions you want to devote to that, sure. It would make sense to do that in this case. In other cases, you might want to use those minor actions to move, take cover, or save them to like dodge or block.
I actually don't have the minor actions anyway. I realized that I've got to ready my pistol. It wasn't out, and I'll have to use then my 4 minor actions to take another major action to attack.
All right, take your shot then.
So
he's defenseless at this point, so all your hits are net hits.
Okay. So that'll be a total of 14 dice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 14 hits. I was like, yes. You just exploded this guy all over.
And since since I have the edge to spare, I'm going to use. I'm going to use. Let's see. Let's go ahead and.
Hold on. While he's doing that, Danen and Jin, rather Sarah and Opti, I would like you to think about what your characters are doing while he's doing this, because after this we're rolling initiative, and you'll have a chance to have taken a preparatory action if you want. Bobby, go ahead. I'm
just going to use 2 edge to turn one of those 4s into a 5, so that it's a total of 5 hits. Since, like I said, since I have the edge to spare right now, I was maxed out at 7 edge, so I don't want to be there.
He rolls his body of 4, soaks 1 point of damage. How much does he take total after that?
After soaking 1, that would be light fire is 2 physical. That total 7 physical.
Okay, so you just shot him where in the face?
Probably in the back of the head. Like I would have been trying to do that, or in the side.
You like shoot him in the back of the head, and he like blood sprays up, and he goes kind of flying forward. He reaches back and goes, ah! Ah! He drops his flashlight and his gun, and he's grabbing the back of his head and just making a bunch of noise and leaking a bunch. And at that point, now we're going to roll initiative.
Should have gone with heavier bullets in this one. All right, initiative time. Got a 19.
Okay, so we have 19 for Rooster. What about Danen and Jin?
Uh, 14.
26.
Okay, I believe that makes Danen first on 26. He takes a shot, and the guy does not go down quietly. It seems like he's probably out of the fight, but Not like a Metal Gear moment. It's more of a Grand Theft Auto moment.
Well, that's what I was going for, Metal Gear, but it's okay.
I will back up from the door and start summoning a Force 2 spirit.
Okay.
Actually,
sorry, go ahead.
I would like to go ahead and, because I have 4 minor actions, so I think I'm just going to summon 2 Force 2 spirits.
Okay. The first one gets 1 hit to resist your summoning. The second one gets the same, 1 hit to resist. So, assuming you get more than 1 hit on each of those, you get some net hits and some spirits. Are you spending reagents to gain edge on these?
Of course I am. So I'm now at 5 edge, which is the max I can get for this.
So summoning low force spirits in combat is a good way to start banking up edge.
Yes, sir.
So I will say, if you do that like for another turn straight, I may sort of suggest vetoing the edge gain or making it more expensive reagent wise. Just for I'm not sure if I'll do that or not.
As per the book, if you're doing something just to farm edge, it makes the game less fun for people. So it actually suggests that you...
There are fewer ways for Tanen to gain edge, so I'm less likely to come down on that either, as I would then, like, Jin, who has ways to, like, gain edge like crazy super easily just by jacking in and, like, doing a couple of hacks, so...
Well, whatever. You're just partial to magic run. you just like magic better.
Hey, Opti, so do you.
I know. I do.
But yeah, it'll be nice to actually be able to heal some of my stun.
So do you have any other actions left, or does that tag you out?
That's me.
Turn? Or round, I should say. Then next person to go is going to be. There is like a barking and a growling from inside the building, and a really, really big dog comes running around the corner.
No.
Like from out, like from inside the building, from a direction that then feels like, oh yeah, that's bad. I know what that is. And,
quit picking on me, Mr. J.
It looks like an oversized like cross between a Doberman Pinscher and a German Shepherd with a little bit of wolf, and it roars and its eyes kind of glow a bit like coals being stoked. And let's see, it moved. I'm going to say it used a major action to sprint, but this thing has 4 minor actions, so it's going to use when it sees, like, all of you who are invisible, just sees through the spell immediately, because it's a dual-natured creature, so it sees astral space as well as physical. I believe I shall have it use its elemental attack on Dinen.
Why do you hate me so much?
It recognizes you.
No!
And it wants to finish what it started.
All right.
So let's see. I should make sure I do elemental attack right here.
Nah, don't worry about it. I guess that could go bad.
Okay, so the attack rating, I'm going to say it's going to be in close range, so what is your defense rating, Danen?
What is defense rating? I think I have it at the top, but like...
Body plus armor?
Cool. I have... I'm still looking. Sorry, there's a lot of words on this page.
Must be nice to not already have memorized what defense rating is.
I've got magic times 2 minus 2 for the attack rating, so its attack rating is 8.
Holy crap, I think it's gonna get... So I'm wearing a chameleon suit. My body's 2. I'm wearing a chameleon suit, so I get +2, but I'm not seeing my armor.
Oh, it's totally getting an edge on you then, because you're not getting much defense rating with that chameleon suit. So unless you have something else adding up, I'm gonna I'm going to give him the edge and move on.
Okay.
Situation-wise,
Wait,
doesn't really have a reason to get edge, I don't think. Neither would you have a reason to get an edge. So I think we're good there, and it's going to make us attack roll.
hold on one sec.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this and see if you agree. This is, I have a minor action, so I can use something called intercept, which is if an opponent comes within close attack range, I may go out of initiative order and make an attack action as long as I have both a minor and a major action still available.
Yeah, so that's like the attack of opportunity if someone's leaving in melee or moving past you. This thing sort of entered the area, like entered where it would have line of sight, but didn't go running up near or past you, so intercept wouldn't help.
Okay, all right then.
It's not getting that close to you.
Gotcha. I just assumed that Danen and I were close together, and so if it was attacking her.
It's not actually having to get too close. It's like stopping and growling, and a bunch of flame comes out of its mouth.
Oh, it's a flame attack. Okay, 10-4. 10-4.
Yeah, I hadn't described it narratively yet. I just said it's using its elemental attack. But, all right, so it's magic plus agility for it to attack you with, and you try to avoid just like any other ranged combat attack. So it's reaction plus intuition.
Okay.
Hops and Bear in the chat asks, are you not keeping track of edge for the NPCs, or have they just not accumulated any?
I am keeping track of edge for NPCs, though if they don't have an edge attribute, like many of them don't have it written down in the stat block, I just kind of assume their edge is 0, so they only use any edge they accrue. There might be some other rules for doing it, like using a professional rating or something in the book that I haven't found in my reading of the parts of it, but that's how I'm doing it for now, at least. They're just using edge that they accrue.
Guys, I got 5 dice and I rolled 0 hits.
Well, that's not useful to us right now.
No. It's gonna hurt. It's been nice helping you guys.
Well, I'm gonna miss your invisibility.
It's about to all come down right now.
You like turn over and you see the dog and you're like, oh no, not again, and like the flames come at you.
Oh no.
I have a new fear.
Deer in the headlights, don't avoid it at all. It just hits you just full on and just sustains with flames on you and
Whoa, well can
that's bad.
What if have you already spent edge?
She has
I
not.
have not. But I didn't get enough, like the highest number I rolled was a 3. So to move things to successes, like I'm still only gonna get like 1 success.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best use, right? Unless I die, then it's a good use. I don't know. This thing's got an attack rating of 8, so.
I was thinking about giving you some edge. Do you have any edge available?
I have 5.
Oh.
So what can we do with our edge? We should share with
four
the...
edge. Well, there's a 4 edge boost where you can re-roll all failed dice.
Let's do that! Holy crap, let's do that!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a very good idea at this point. Because that lets you reroll 5 dice.
Oh my...
What the? You got
Wow,
0
okay.
hits again.
0 hits. So Sarah, I'm gonna give you an edge. Just GM's prerogative here. Have an edge point.
So that leaves me with 2 now.
That was almost the exact same roll.
I hate everything.
Now roll your body to see how bad you die.
No! My body is 2, guys.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Why?
Jeez.
Why?
Oh my gosh.
I rolled another 0.
Okay, the
So-
good and the bad
Oh my
news is
God,
that you're probably alive enough to still be conscious.
Wow.
Well,
Holy moly.
maybe
You've been
this
hit
isn't.
full on, and yeah, you've just been turned into a human torch, just burned. You're screaming in awful pain. You take 9 boxes of physical damage, and you are on fire, burning.
9 boxes, I'm down, guys.
Well, you have 9 boxes.
I have exactly 9.
All right, that means we don't have to waste time stabilizing you.
And also,
Thanks.
she's making a lot less noise.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like Danen's gonna roll up a new character for next week.
Oh my. Yeah, that was bad.
With this team's support, yeah.
So after the hellhound goes, now it's Rooster's turn. There's that ganger that's he's like holding his head. He's dropped his flashlight and his gun. He seems like he's out of the fight. There's more of them out there. But then there's this dog that came running in and growled and basically killed Danen.
Well,
your sacrifice will not be in vain. Rooster and Jin will be much better Shadowrunners after this encounter.
Rooster's really not really terribly distracted by the ganger anymore, and he's going to fire some of the new explosive bullets he put into his Desert Strike at that dog that just took out his favorite team member.
His former team member.
Yeah. So the question is, do I go? I'm gonna burst fire for the extra damage. So burst firing, it's gonna be a narrow burst, which means, just for the purposes of those watching, a burst fire, the way it works now is you're basically sacrificing attack rating in order to increase the damage of your attack. So a narrow burst, you're shooting 3 bullets, and 2 of those are going to give you 2 extra damage on your attack. But you also lose 2 attack ratings. So attack rating of 10 base, -2 would be 8 for my attack rating. But I also have...
Sorry, you roboted out there, Bobby.
I'm sorry. More or less, because everybody on the stream would have heard me. It would have been you guys that hear it. Basically, what I'm doing is calculating my attack rating now. So I think it's going to be, at the end of the day, with the minuses, it'll be 12. It would have normally been 12. It's going to be 10 now. But
you roboted it out for me and a bunch of that, Bobby.
Wow.
What is your attack rating?
My attack rating is 10.
It's not. That's with the -4 for burst fire.
Yes. -4. I think you only take -2, don't you? Or am I wrong?
-2 is for semi-auto. -4 for burst fire.
Oh well, then it's only attack rating of 8.
All right, that's not going to be an edge either way. So I guess take your shot with your dice.
All right.
Or shots, I should say, as you.
Right. Let's see. So I get, with an assault rifle, I get a lot more dice, so that's good. It's 13 plus 2. Yeah, I get 16 dice with this assault rifle.
Oh, it's an assault rifle. What gun are you using?
The Desert Strike.
I'm so used to that being a sniper rifle.
Yep.
I suppose our invisibility is no longer functioning.
It totally is, except for, it's not working so well for Danen because she's on fire. And the fire is visible.
Are my spirits gone too? Because I'm knocked out.
They're kind of hanging out, like probably look at each other and shrug.
If only I had my friend spirit.
All right, I'm gonna save the 5 edge that I have. I'm not gonna. I think 7 hits feels pretty good. I'm gonna go with 7 hits. Yeah, 7 hits.
All right, that would be 3 net hits.
All right, I got that would be base 5. 3 net would put it up to 8, but I'm also using explosive ammo, so that's 9 physical.
All right, it soaks 1 point of that and lets off a oh! As you shoot it, and blood goes spraying, and like any normal dog would go down, but this thing's big and tough.
I'm gonna yell. When I do it, I'm gonna yell, "Bad dog!"
You yell, dude, we're invisible.
I'm firing an assault rifle.
All right, on 17, some gangers are doing something, mostly kind of running around. Like one of them like steps into the room and says, "Oh man, are you okay?" to the guy who's got a bullet wound in his head. He's got this guy has a Defiance T250 shotgun with a flashlight, like literally duct tape on duct taped onto it. And yeah, the guy's like, he yells back, I think he's hurt. And then on to 14 is Jin's turn.
So how many guys in total, including the dog?
Currently in the building with you, there's only the one oblivious guy and the dog. And then the guy who's basically out of the fight because with a head wound. There's more gangers just outside, but you haven't looked out to see how many there are, and you can assume there's a ghoul amongst them that you haven't seen yet.
Does Danen have any med kits on her?
Hard to say because it's hard to see through much.
Can I use Matrix Perception to see if there's any med kits? Are med kits wireless?
It might be handy to put out the fire, just saying.
I don't have anything to put out the fire with, but I thought maybe if I could activate the med kits by hacking into them, then I could do a couple things at once. That was my thought.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead, and it is a I believe it's a minor action to do a Matrix Perception.
Correct.
Yes, it is.
So how about this? I'm gonna go into
and I'm gonna say this is a freebie. You pop a minor with a minor action. You can just see what gear she has active. Danen, do you have a wirelessly active med kit and stuff?
I have a med kit from what I picked up on our first run, but I don't know the details of it. It was in that place we went with the room of people that we didn't help.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Jin probably would have had you turn it on.
Yeah,
I'm nice.
So, I don't know what kind of action it would be to use a medkit. Let me see.
So you're gonna use some sort of a control device action to make the medkit put out the fire.
Yeah.
Or I guess do what it can for her. I guess in this case,
you need to use your admin access. So I'm gonna have to. I don't know what. I can't. Okay. I'm gonna take off. If I take off my clothes and use them to put you out, then I'm going to lose all my edge bonuses because I can't. I want you to see what's happening here.
You could spend a major action to try to pat out the fire as best you can, and that would not necessarily set you on fire.
No, I'm going to take off my jacket, and I'm going to try to put her out.
All right, so make a agility plus reaction test, threshold of 2. Normally, you'd make this for yourself to stop, drop, and roll, but you're doing this on her behalf. And that's going to take you a major action. We'll say a minor action to take your jacket off, major action to put out the fire.
I got 3 hits, but I want everybody to know that now that I am not wearing my nice clothes anymore, I can no longer take edge actions at all. I cannot gain or spend edge because I no longer have my distinctive look.
Oh, wow.
It's going to take a major action to put your jacket back on.
It's on fire, or it's all gross and smoky.
Well, it's kind of slimy from the the awful, horrible charred corpse that you.
My distinctive style is not gross, charred corpse crud. My distinctive style is I look fucking great. So, so I can't do that. I'm not putting that freaking jacket back on.
Danen's laying there with awful, horrible burn wounds all over, on the filth of the floor down here.
I'm patting her.
But she's not on fire anymore.
I'm patting her with my jacket, and I'm just saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't ever want to waste you putting out some fire on some girl. I'm so sorry.
Oh, right. You asked about the invisibility spell, and I'm I answered stupidly. because I forgot to take out. Yeah, obviously, the person sustaining it is not conscious, so yeah, you're not invisible.
Oh, well, okay, that's what we all assumed, but yeah. So now you're covered in a
So
really
the other guy was just
expensive
oblivious.
burnt jacket, but you're not on fire anymore. You're welcome.
Thanks, I think, after being insulted several times.
At that point,
But like, how insulted can you possibly be? Because I literally just burnt my coat for you.
She's
Listen,
probably
I am
not
in
insulted at
physical
all.
pain.
because she's unconscious.
Yeah.
I am in physical pain, and also my heart hurts now, Opti.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna really need those edge actions here in a minute. But I instead helped you. I was actually thinking about just abandoning you guys and going to look for.
Trust me,
Matador.
Sarah, in another couple minutes of complaining, you're going to wish he hadn't saved you at all, okay?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So at that point, stepping in through the door is this big, tough, just nasty-looking, kind of hunched-over guy with these big cyber claws. Then you realize, those are not cyber claws. Now, this guy's a ghoul. He comes walking in, takes in the room and sees Rooster there. He's like, "You idiots, they're right there!" And he goes leaping at Rooster with you're sort of maybe a bit extra creeped out or grossed out to see that as he's rushing towards you with his claws bared, his mouth is wide open and he is salivating like dinner is served.
Oh, gross.
So he's gonna make a melee attack on you.
I'm going to use dodge for the first time.
Okay,
That explains it.
You could use so using dodge lets you add your athletics ranks to your defense test.
Yeah.
This is also a melee attack, so if you like, you could also spend another minor action to do a block to add your close combat ranks.
I don't have. Oh, I do have
ranks.
close combat.
Or you could do one or the other or both, and they'll stack.
Absolutely.
It takes a major action to do full defense, which works on all for the whole round, but that's willpower based. This is per defense test. So
yeah, I'm going to use.
I over-explained it now. Go on.
We got people who are trying to learn about 6th edition. That's good. I'm going to use the 2 minor actions. I haven't used any of the 4 that I have, so I'm going to use the 2 to both dodge and block, which will allow me to use. You said I can add the ranks of my athletics and close combat skill to my defense test, correct?
Yeah. So first off, what's your defense rating?
My defense rating is body plus armor, and that is.
Yeah, but I want the number.
Shut up! I'm stalling.
Thank you very much, Bobby.
My defense rating is 5 plus 7, 12.
Okay, so no edge either way on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you have been invisible and you weren't expecting to not be in some ways, and people have been ignoring you and stuff, and this guy suddenly just walking in and coming right at you is a little bit surprising. So I'm gonna give him an edge for that because I'm an evil bastard. I'm just gonna use it against you right away here. So.
Great.
Make your defense test, which is reaction plus intuition, plus you're doing both a block and a dodge.
Yep.
So that's probably a lot of dice then.
Yeah, that's going to be reaction plus intuition by itself is 9 dice for me. I'm also getting I'm thinking out loud right here, so bear with me. 3 and then 4, 7, 16 dice to defend with. Wow.
All right. You're going to need them. I rolled really good.
Oh, hey, Cliff, did you... I meant to say, did you say that we could prepare to take a preparatory action before the combat started?
Yes, because Rooster was busy shooting a guy in the head.
I didn't get a chance to say it, but I wanted to go into AR mode and prep my gun. My gun being prepped obviously is no longer an issue, but I did want to slip into AR. So
okay.
But I didn't update my my initiative.
Do you mean slip into VR where your body would be helpless?
No, I mean AR. Doesn't that increase?
Because that
my
would just be
initiative?
normally be up anyway, and it wouldn't increase your initiative.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, it's cold sim and hot sim, which are still both VR. Never mind. I was confusing. Never mind. All is as it should be.
Okay,
All right.
how many hits you get on your defense?
I got
Everything.
I got 6 hits on my defense.
Ooh, he got 7 hits to hit you with.
What a jerk!
So
I was thinking about using an edge to get
you
that.
dodge, you pull off a block. He like his claws come at your face. You stop it. You kind of sneer at him like haha, and then like his other arm comes around and you feel this searing pain like up at your like stomach and slashed across your chest.
Almost knocked over my beer during that.
You're sort of broken apart for a moment. He looks up at you and his hand is bloody and he licks your blood off his hand and goes, ah.
What a jerk.
And go roll your body to see if you take damage. I'm assuming there was blood because, he hit you, but I guess you should roll your body to see if you soak it off.
Right. So that would be 5 dice. And I'm going to think for a second. Okay, 5 dice here for my body. But yeah, let's do that. No! I got one of the exact same rolls that Danen got with 0 hits.
Oh my.
Oh,
Have you used edge yet this combat round?
No.
Okay. This might be a good time then.
Yeah, and I get a bonus edge. I have I have the toughness quality that gives you a bonus edge for damage resistance to be used only when you're resisting damage. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to spend 4 edge to reroll all of those. And then get 0 hits again, just like Sarah did. No, I got 3 hits.
Oh, okay. 3 hits out of 4 damage. So you take 1 point of damage. He scratched you pretty bad. Enough to get a taste of your blood, but not enough to really hurt. But that really burns, even though it's 1 point of damage. Moving on, I think that was the last person in the combat round. We're back up to Danen, who is on fire, but not on fire anymore. Just unconscious because they were on fire. Danen, unfortunately, has no actions because she is unconscious. Sorry, Danen. Your spirits hang around, look at each other and shrug. They're in astral space. They don't really do anything. They don't have orders. They're gonna wait and see if you wake up, I guess. And then the hellhound goes. He's been savagely injured by that orc. It goes leaping forward to bite at you to try to hold you in place for the ghoul to finish you off. I'm not doing any fancy grappling. It's just gonna step up and attack you. So a minor action for it to move to cover the distance. And then a major action to bite you with. So make another melee defense test there. With the attack rating versus your defense rating, there's no edge either way.
Okay, I'm going to... I guess I'll use 2 of my minor actions to dodge and block again.
Yep, it's a new combat round, so you have all your actions back, even though your turn hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, so I'll do that.
Damn, I am rolling so good against you.
16 dice again. I got 6 hits.
All right, I got 6 hits to hit you, so that means I hit you with base damage.
Yeah.
So it's biting at you, and you're starting to feel pain from the teeth of the hellhound in your leg now. Go ahead and roll body to resist that damage.
Alright, well...
The fact that you get an edge to resist damage with doesn't... Oh, wait, Never mind, it's a new combat round. So.
Yep. So we'll see if I need it. I got 2 hits, but I think I would like to use that extra edge, and this will be my single edge expenditure for the round. To get myself 3 hits, bump that 4 up. No, I'll have to re-roll one of the dice, so I only want to use the 1 edge, so I'm just gonna re-roll 1 die and see if I get a hit on that.
2 edge lets you bump a pip up by 1 point, so a 4 to a 5 would make an auto hit, but the 1 edge lets you re-roll.
Yeah, and I did.
And this paid off.
Yep.
Well, yeah, with your 3 hits, you feel the scraping of the teeth against your leg, and it's tearing at the at your pant leg. So is it denim? It's getting ripped
I've
to
got
shreds down there.
I've got combat armor on, full body armor.
Okay. So with the combat armor, then like it's sort of ripping away at one of the straps or something that's dangling loose. It's still fully functional for now, but you might want to get that touched up. But yeah, you are unharmed. And then it comes to Rooster, your turn. You got a dog chewing at you on one side and a ghoul on the other. What do you do? Rooster?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said somebody else. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and which one do I take care of, the dog or the ghoul? Or do I try to take care of? Let's split it up. Let's do both. Let's show people. We always do anticipation in multiple attacks. But even if I had the edge, I can't spend it anyway. So let's just do a regular wide burst on these two guys. We think we could do that?
Sure. So you're kind of in melee with them. So I'm going to give them an edge each for that circumstance.
That's all right.
They're also probably going to get an edge because your attack rating is lower.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. What is your attack rating?
It's very low at near. It's only an attack rating of 3. So.
Okay, so they each get an edge. So you're basically they're each going to get 2 points of edge.
Yeah.
One for the circumstance of being ganged up on you, and the other for the like you're trying to use this big ass rifle like and hit 2 directions and spray them at both, and
you know, da-da-da-da-da, like that.
Trying to pull off some fancy John Wick maneuvers here.
Yeah.
Except you're the one taking out the dog this time. So.
Yeah.
Just like in. So I guess you make your attack roll, but since it's burst fire, you're allowed to, instead of doing the damage increase, you get the damage increase of the semi-auto attack against targets, but you can split your dice pool. So that means the damage value goes up by 1, attack value goes down by 2.
Attack rating, yeah. All right, so that's it, and so I'm attacking.
Make your attack roll.
I'm attacking both of them. You want me to just make the one roll on a? I split my dice too, don't I?
Yeah, you split your dice pool. You know, let's do 2 separate rolls, just because there's not too many things going on in this combat. I think we can afford to roll the extra dice.
Yep. I'm going to split them. Do you by default split them evenly? I want to do that myself anyway, but is that just how it works?
I think so. I mean, that's how it worked in 5e.
Okay.
I don't want to take the extra time to look it up at the moment, but
Yeah. Well, I've got 16 dice altogether for that, so I'm going to roll 8 dice for each. So this one will be for the dog. 4 hits on the dog.
That's 2 net.
All right.
What's the damage?
Base damage was 5. I have explosive rounds, so that makes it 6, and then the extra one makes it 7 for the what do you call it? The burst fire, the attack that, and then you said 2 net hits, so that makes it 9.
Okay, yeah, you just drill through the dog, just multiple bullets. Each one would probably have been fatal, and it just sags to the ground. Just leaving behind a streak of blood along the ground.
Right.
And yeah, you definitely shot that dog. And then what about the ghoul?
The ghoul I rolled 3 hits on with 8 dice.
And that's 2 net hits on him as well. So he's looking at 9 damage as well.
That's right.
All right, he hasn't been shot before, and he must be made of pretty tough stuff. You shoot him, and he just sort of like grunts, takes it, says, "Oh, I'm gonna eat you when you're still alive."
I kind of get why Rooster gets wide-eyed a little bit, thinking that not expecting it to have gone that way. He was feeling really good about himself when he made that maneuver, and then for him to shrug it off like that doesn't feel too good.
That was pretty effective. Yeah, he didn't shrug it off. He took a big chunk of damage there, but yeah, not as much as you're used to seeing.
Right.
So let's see. That was on Rooster's turn on 19. Next would be the Ganger on 17. The one who's got a headshot, he's basically out of the fight. But the other one is like, oh, there they are, and he's gonna shoot Jin. He raises his Uzi and squeezes off a burst at Jin.
Here we go.
So what's your defense rating, Jin?
9.
You get a point of edge.
No, and no.
Well, minus your jacket, yeah.
Because I don't have my jacket on.
And you can't get edge anyway, so yeah.
So it's just my body, so it's just 5.
No edge, just a defense test then. Though if you have any minor actions you haven't used yet, which seems likely since you haven't had your turn, you could spend a minor action to dodge to add your athletics ranks. You could also spend your major action to do a full defense. That would give you your willpower to all your defense tests for the whole round, but it's a major action.
No, I'm just gonna do the normal dodge or the normal reaction test.
All right, there's as the Uzi fires.
But I did roll 4, which is not terrible.
4 hits.
He almost hits you.
Better than 0, and you're the first person to avoid an attack.
Yeah, you get one net hit, you leap out of the way, and the bullets just spatter into the crumbling plaster of the wall beyond you. It spits out a cloud of probably pustulant dust, considering it was smeared on that wall. Then we move on to Jin's turn on 14.
Okay, so I'm going to use a minor action to go into Hot Sim.
So you flop to the ground, apparently.
Yeah.
And
Does my initiative increase?
I believe it does, doesn't it? You get multiple. You get more.
Does. I just want to know
dice.
how you want to handle that.
I think you would just roll them and modify your initiative total on the fly. So for future combat turns, I think that's how it works. So
Okay, so it's now I rolled a 20 on that one for my new initiative.
So normally you wouldn't re-roll your whole initiative. You just roll the extra dice and add them on, but we'll keep it rolling with this result. So.
And do you get more minor actions?
You do, yeah. You get one minor action per initiative die, plus 1.
Okay, so now I have 3 more minor actions then, and a major action. So I'm not sure that you're going to let me do this, but I'm going to do something pretty crazy. I am going to use my major action to do a hash check. Specialized matrix search. Blah, blah, blah. By searching for a specific value, the character can find an encrypted document on a host or device without having to decrypt it. So it's a little abstract because I didn't find exactly what I was looking for. But what I want to do is basically search the surrounding area for a very particular file. And that file would be a dock wagon contract. So I'll basically want to spend my major action in the Matrix, basically doing a search that is continually widening circles until I find somebody with a dock wagon contract in the surrounding. I know it's crazy. I know it's never been done before.
Okay, looks like you're looking at a threshold 4 on this.
Okay.
It's not an opposed test, so it's not a test you would generate edge for. That
I
said,
can't
it's weird
generate
and cool,
edge anyway.
so I would let you generate edge, except for you're not wearing a jacket, and you just feel wrong and off. So, never mind there. So electronics, it's an illegal action, but it's electronics instead of cracking.
That really bothers me. Okay, that's gonna bother me like long term.
Hopefully
that will.
Are 2 illegal actions that use electronics and not cracking.
Okay, so electronics,
too.
Electronics and logic.
Yeah, I wish they were consistent about that. You need 4 hits.
Come on.
Oh!
Oh my gosh, you got
Yes!
4 hits!
Yes! And
Okay,
that's with no edge.
you do this like super brute force, just crazy, like getting God's attention, like set out like all this just essentially crazy like active search thing, just making all sorts of noise in the matrix around you. How does this look like in the virtual space of the matrix as you do this like thing that should normally take somebody like minutes or more in just a moment?
So Jin in the Matrix looks like the genie from Aladdin, except like the bad one at the end, like Jafar. Except he's purple and red, and there's like lightning bolts flying all around him, and he like whooshes up from the area where he's at, and like his tornado for his body just keeps getting wider and wider and wider until this little blip goes off, and he throws a lightning bolt down and marks it.
You found the blip.
Nice.
It's a the dock wagon contract.
It is a dock wagon contract, yes.
Right, and that
will use my major action. I don't think I can do what I want to do with it until next. But I'm trying to see what else I can with my minor action. Let's see. I can change icon, reception, reconfigure a matrix attribute, I can send a message, but that wouldn't fool anybody at Dock Wagon. So I'm going to hold those actions now and wait till my next. No, that's not. It really doesn't make a difference, does it? You can't hold. You don't get anything for holding your minor actions.
You can use them later, right?
But it takes 4 to convert one into a major. Is that the way it is?
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, if I'm not sure what you would use them for, since you're laying down and you can't dodge. So.
Let me see if I hit. What were my?
All right. I think that's it for this round. And the last person to go then is the ghoul, who has been shot by Rooster, and he's not very happy about that. He's going to leap forward. Yeah, the dog's been taken out. He's going to leap forward with his claws and see if he can't finish you off. So make a melee defense test there, Rooster, and
okay.
I don't think there's any edge gaining going on here.
Reaction plus intuition. Okay. Am I able to use my any remaining minor actions? I've already dodged.
Yeah, if you have any minor actions left, you can use them for defensive purposes.
All right, then I'll do the same all, and dodge. I've got 2 minor actions left.
Yep. So you're just moving super fast like a blur. Most people would be ripped to shreds in this situation, but you're taking them down and
6 hits.
Dodging some of their attacks. Yeah, with 6 hits, you go leaping out of the way. You're just not there where he was, and he just spends a moment being confused because he thought he had you, and he's just like holding air there, and you're just to his left.
That's right.
And then I guess we're back up around to brand new combat rounds, so edge uses are back. Fortunately for Danan, she's not on fire anymore because somebody put out the fire. Otherwise, she'd have been taking like several boxes of damage each combat turn or combat round. I think she'd have been dead by now.
I'm not dead. Hooray! Thanks. Thanks so much, Jin.
You would have had to resist a total of 8 damage with, your body.
Of 2.
You'd have been dead by now. So yeah, Jin totally saved your life by messing up his jacket. I'm not sure if he considers it worth the trade, but obviously he does because he did it. So he's a good friend.
But
you totally owe him, and you will never hear the end of it. if you
True
survive.
story.
I wake up with a Shiawazi tattoo on my
All right, so with the
I
hellhound
would never
down,
do that.
normally the first person in the round would be Rooster, but Jin is riding the wave of hot sim in the Matrix. So you go first.
So I believe that I can spoof. I can basically use that person's dock wagon information to spoof that card as if it's coming from my cyber deck. And I want to set it off and alert dock wagon to come to where we are as if there's an emergency. I'm waiting for Cliff to tell me no.
Trying to figure out the right thing here. I think, yeah, the spoof command would be what you're using. You need, I think you can do this with outsider access, so that's good. So it's cracking plus logic.
Alrighty. And would this be hacking?
The cracking skill plus logic.
I know, but I have a specialization in hacking, so I'm not sure.
Nope, that is the probe and the brute force and the backdoor entry stuff. Those are the hacking actions.
See. Under hack, it actually says brute force or probe. Okay, cool. So, okay, so just crack, which is logic of 6 plus cracking of 6. That's 3 hits.
Okay, you succeed. What are you having the device do? Like trigger as if the owner had fired off the dock wagon?
Yep, but it's coming from my cyber deck. So the signal is basically routing through my cyber. So the dock wagon essentially would be guaranteed to be here within 10 minutes or less.
Okay.
Well, we know how
And
long.
then with my other 4 actions, my other 4 minor actions, I can convert them into a major, and then I'm going to do a data spike on this guy's gun. Maybe if it's on the Matrix. The guy that's shooting at Rooster.
I'm trying to think if anyone's shot at Rooster yet. It's all been claws and teeth.
Oh, the guy that shot at me. How about that?
Yeah, he's got a gun, and sure, he's not very Matrix savvy. It's probably like still turned on.
Okay. So data spike, cracking plus logic versus data processing and firewall.
All right, he doesn't have much for defenses there, so all your
4
hits are net
dice.
hits.
All right. My attack rating, damage equal to my attack rating rounded up. My attack rating with my cyber deck is 8. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 boxes of damage to his gun.
Yeah, his gun, his Uzi suddenly sparks and just bursts out with sparks and smoke, and the clip ejects, and the actions just starts like moving back and forth, and like pops out, and there's a spring comes out, and I was like, what the cheap piece of dreck.
Yeah. Okay. So just pause. This is what a decker should feel like. Like I feel like I just did like really cool shit right there, right? And I feel like it's really fun, and this is what it should have always felt like forever. Go ahead. Keep going.
And now it is Rooster's turn.
All right, it's time to put an end to this Google in front of me. I'm really liking. So I'm gonna shoot the guy. Let's just cut to the chase. But I have 4 minor actions that I want to use, but I don't think I'm going to use. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I was trying to debate whether or not I was going to aim for all of that or not. But you're limited to a number of aims equal to your willpower. That's the maximum amount of aiming you can do, right? So my willpower is only 2 anyway. So So I'm going to use 2 aim actions, 2 aim minor actions, then to fire. That'll give me 2 extra dice. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So
if
that
you were at a longer range, you could use a move. You can use an aim action to use your scope or magnification to reduce the range as well, but that's not applicable in this case.
Right. I'm gonna assume since he's on top of me, basically, that I'm not getting any edge because my attack rating is 3 or lower because of all the other.
Yeah, he's getting an edge on you for that.
Yeah.
Actually.
All right. And hopefully it won't matter for much longer. Because hopefully he's going to die. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna go ahead and roll because we've done the attack rating edge stuff, and I'm not getting anything there. So now we're doing the roll. It's 18 dice when all is said and done. And I got 10 fragging hits.
Yes.
All right. I'm not even gonna bother rolling his body. This is definitely a kill shot. Tell us how much damage you do with 9 net hits, and then describe what happens as you win.
So just for dramatic effect, we'll say Rooster. He's not very. He was really upset and it offended his ego when that guy scratched him and then licked his blood off of his claws or whatever. So he when he made his next attack and he dodged it, he brought up his boot and pushed the ghoul away from him, and as he stumbled back, he raised up his rifle and he said something like I hope that tasted good, and then shot him in the, or says, I hope that tasted good. That's all I got. And then he's gonna lay into him with his he was burst firing into his right into his midsection. He was aiming just for the most meat, and then explosive bullets riddle the guy and tear his chest open.
Oh yeah, this is just spectacularly gory, just giant giblets and gobbets and chunks just blasting all over, spraying HMHVV infected biomass all over the room.
Freaking gross.
Then he uses his Smart Link provided free action to, or if we're being specific, minor action to reload, and he coldly puts another clip of explosive ammo into his Desert Strike.
All right, that was 19. Let's see. So no more ghoul, no more hellhound. There's still that guy stumbling around, grabbing his head and making these really unpleasant sobbing and moaning and yelling sounds.
I'll let him go.
He's just having a really bad day. Maybe. Yeah, so are other people, right? And then there's the other guy whose Uzi just popped, and he's looking around here, and there's still at least a couple of gangers out there, and he goes running out of the room, yelling, "They're not in here! They're not in here!" Laszlo's really hungry. You should leave them alone. And he's you can just hear his voice getting quieter as he's just running straight away as fast as he can, yelling as he goes.
He just won himself his life.
And there's the other guy. And there's 2 more guys that out there that got guns and flashlights. They will kind of look at each other, and one of them says I don't think I believe it. He's like, no. The other one, shut. They're busy. We're going back in the truck and back on patrol. The other one just kind of looks, but they're like, no. Back in the truck on patrol. I was like, oh, okay. Pretty sure the other, okay. The only people who are observing here is the audience, right? It's the NPC, because the PCs are unaware. But this is one of the guys is figured out what's going on. The other one's just completely dumb and oblivious. But he's going along with the smart one, I guess, relatively speaking. The guy with the logic of 2 instead of 1. And it seems like you've more or less secured this. You like look around. It looks like Jin's down, but probably hacking or something. He still looks like he's alive. And Danan, yeah, like she's still showing some signs of life, but horribly burned.
Yeah. Well, Rooster. Well, this might be a good, decent time for a break, unless you want to resolve this part of it before we take a break.
I think it is. But before we resolve this, I would like both Danan and Rooster to roll body plus willpower.
Oh, great.
Can I restart roll 20 first? Because I don't trust it anymore.
If your superstition will help you feel better about it, then go for it.
I'm doing it. I'll be right back in.
Okay, so
Body plus
cool. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm being dumb.
Yeah, it's cool. I got 3 hits on a body plus willpower.
Okay, you have not contracted the Krieger strain of HMHVV.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for telling me after I rolled what I was rolling for.
we could have called you Ghoulster.
Cliff, do I have to take all my negatives for this?
No negatives.
Two hits. I have
Danan.
2 edge. I have 2 edge. Can I change one of them to a 5, please?
That would be a waste of edge because the threshold is 2 in this case.
Oh my God.
You are not going to become a Google.
Oh, that's good stuff.
From this instance, at least.
Yeah, from this
so
moment.
congratulations. Now I think we can go to break.
All right, we're gonna take
5 or 10 minutes.
Let's do a 5-minute break, unless somebody has a reason to need a 10-minute break. But we'll do that. Jin is showing the chat something. I can't quite make it out. What is that?
Matrix Initiative.
Yeah, because we're having a little disagreement in the chat. That's what I'm seeing for Matrix Initiative. So it looks to me like my Matrix Initiative when I go into VR should be 3 damn, I can't even say. 3 minor actions is what I'm trying to say.
When
Right? I should get 3 minor actions.
the way the initiative works, okay, before we start the break timer here, you have your intuition plus data processing, right? For your base number you're starting with.
Yeah.
And then that's plus either 1 or 2d6, whether or not you're
Is that backwards?
Right? So that's not really all that different than if you're a AR. Though I think this is on top of the 1 die you would normally start with. Because otherwise the AR initiative would say 1d6. So if you are going Hot Sim VR and don't have anything else that would give you extra initiative dice, you would be rolling 3 initiative dice. You would have 1 major action and 4 minor. However, as a decker, you probably have what's it called? A cyberjack. That gives you initiative bonus, which is additional dice you get when you are in VR.
Okay.
So, assuming you have a cyberjack, you probably have even more dice and more actions. It caps out at a total of 5d6 for your initiative, and I believe that would cap you out at a max potential of 6 minor actions.
So I had more minor actions than I do dice. That's my.
Yeah, you have 1 more minor action than you have in dice.
Okay, and probably what is happening is I just didn't look at the cyberjack. Okay, cool. And I just realized that like this is all backwards, so my whole point of doing this is not.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys just take it. Oh,
in 5e, you had a flat amount of initiative dice for your VR. Here, it's more based on your equipment as a decker, I think.
Okay, cool. Bobby, were you the one flipping that? Because that was pretty dope.
Flipping. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because when I was showing it on my Discord, it looked backwards to me. But then I guess in.
Nope. I have.
Never mind.
Yeah. Long story short is yes. But I didn't do it.
No problem. Cool. I don't mind this is what this is for, right? I don't mind explaining things, and I don't mind getting it wrong.
Yep.
As everybody who knows me knows, I don't mind being wrong because it happens too damn much for me to be upset.
What Rico Muerte says too is like loves the rules checks. A lot of streams try to gloss over that. That's what makes it real for them. I think for me, like that's actually a big part of my philosophy when I go into producing actual plays, is I'm there for the story and like that we create, of course. That's super important, but I'm also there to kind of help show how the game works.
Yep. And not all of our shows are that way, if we're being
nope.
honest. But certainly, when planning this show, we all knew that we wanted this to be showcasing the rules, and you can't do that if you gloss over them. So,
right. Legends of Earth Dawn is much the same way as an actual play for Earth Dawn. Like we take the time to like talk about how people are spending their experience points, like stuff like that. So if you want to check out Earth Dawn, I'm gonna plug my
good plug.
And for listeners of the Neo-Anarchist podcast, you will hear Opti talk about the adventures of Scratch and Scheller, Orcs of Action, and that is a direct reference to our Legends of Earth Dawn game, where both Scratch and Scheller make their appearance.
Right.
And Scratch is actual canon now. Yeah, your Earth Dawn characters.
That's
now
right. I got to write.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I get to write a chapter as Scratch in the most recent upcoming Earth Dawn book, which is so dope. It is so good, you guys.
That's awesome.
I do have to say, like, if you're going to do an actual play podcast, if you can rope like the creator of the game or the line editor or whatever into playing, like, do that.
It's good networking.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's also like they probably get very little opportunities to just kick back and play a character. So,
All right, so we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be right back with some more. While we're gone, go get some of your friends to come and watch if they're interested in seeing Shadowrun. As you can see, we're showcasing the rules, so we want people to see it. We'll be back in 5 minutes. See you in a few. Hey everybody, we're back with Shadowrun 6th edition, our showcasing of the rules. It's the exclusive Twitch actual play. We have to, I mean, it's not technically exclusive Shadowrun 6th edition material because you know what? Mr. Johnson has an Arcology podcast actual play that is doing 6th edition Shadowrun. Isn't that right, Mr. Johnson?
That's right.
And also, we've
dropped an episode this week.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. That's longer. You know, there's more content for 6th edition you get exposed to. They do have, from my understanding of it, they do a lot of flexing a lot of different parts of the system too than we've done here. So that's good.
Yeah, we've discovered a few fun things.
Yeah. So where were we? We just took care of some people trying to. We've kind of like established our position inside this building where we're.
You're standing in this room with new and old gore in it.
Oh.
There's still this guy like wandering around, moaning, holding his head wound.
I'm glad you reminded me. I was gonna say, is it okay to say that I just knock him out?
Sure. You just walk up and he goes down.
Yeah, and you say we're standing in the room. Only Rooster is standing in this room.
Yeah, Jin is actually like kind of probably getting up and like feeling icky from having laid down on this floor. And then like, yeah, Denen's just like this charred corpse that is like somehow still breathing. 3rd-degree burns all over her body.
Is Jin eyes open or still in the Matrix?
I'll be back out now.
All right, cool. I was gonna check your vitals to.
But then I'll say there's a dock wagon on the way.
All right.
So we've got about 5 or 6 minutes before it gets here, if we want to find Matador and then figure out how we can best use this dock wagon to our advantage.
All right. Well, we need to find that guy. But I sit down with Denen, check her vitals. Is she feeling alive? I detect a pulse, I'm assuming. And
looks like she's alive, but there's no telling for how long. She looks like she's in bad shape.
Where's that fragging med kit? We need to.
You find it. It's mostly fire resistant, but some of its outer casing is a bit warped from the flames.
All right. Open up the med kit and start following directions on the med kit, I guess. You said we can.
That's going to allow you to make a first aid test untrained. Normally you can't do it untrained. So you're doing just your logic -1.
You ever used one of these before? Jin? I don't know. I don't have any training with these things.
And then the book doesn't give you any bonus that the rating of the med kit adds, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see in errata that the med kit would add its rating as a dice pool bonus. But I think I'm going to let you have it.
All right.
I think I will let you have it in this case because you don't have a medic, and yeah, that was bad dice luck and everything. So we'll just let you have it. The med kit lets you default and adds its rating as a dice pool bonus to the med kit first aid test.
I'm gonna stand up, take my gun, and start checking it as I say, Jin, I need you to check, make sure she's okay. Get her up and running with this med kit. We got a bunch of people coming in and out, crawling through these halls. I'm gonna make sure we're our position's secure for the moment.
10-4. I will push the buttons. So I go to the med kit and push the buttons, try to figure it out.
All right, and Rooster, you go looking around in the building for any threats and maybe your target.
Yeah, not venturing too far. Definitely want to be within, like, I guess if we're gonna talk game terms, like within a combat turn, being able to get back to them if they need help. But so just couple seconds away in any direction, looking to make sure hallways are clear. There's nothing that's gonna sneak up on us, and any sign of a direction we might need to go next.
Okay. Give me a perception test, and give me a stealth test as well.
All right, perception test first, and that will be how many hits we got? 1 hit on a perception test, and on a stealth test, we're getting 3 hits. So I think if that's the order that I would like the 1 and the 3 to go. That feels a bit good.
All right, so you're moving around pretty quietly, and this place is fairly dark. There's a few signs of light here and there, coming out from one room or another. Probably the glow from some sort of a device that's been left on in the spot or another that you can't see. But between that and the cracks in the walls and whatever that let the whatever bit of light is outside through, you're able to kind of get by with your low light. And, I'm not sure if you have other stuff with your cyber eyes or whatever, but you're able to see, and it doesn't look like anyone's moving around. If there's any more combatants in here, any of these fleshmongers, they probably fled the building or have hunkered down and are hoping to avoid the conflict.
Yeah, nothing showing up on thermographic or anything. I've got a whole suite of vision enhancements and stuff. So.
Yeah, you're not spotting any of that stuff, but what you don't see is a couple of rooms over on the other side of the wall. There's like these 2 gangers that are like crouched basically behind a couch that they've moved away from the wall to get behind. And they're just like trying to be really quiet, and they're scared as Drek. And they're having a hushed conversation about not making enough noise, and they're arguing over which one is making a bunch of noise by whispering and telling the other one to shut the frag up. But you don't hear any of that or notice them.
No,
so
you're telling me to shut up. You're being pretty loud right now.
they both have guns and stuff, but like they don't seem to want to use them. Looks like they're hoping for this to blow over. Other than that, you don't venture far enough to potentially spot where Matador might be in the building.
Okay.
I don't see any signs of him, but you also don't hear or see any signs of him leaving, which you probably wouldn't with that perception test anyway. So, as you're doing that, Jin, you powered up the med kit, or looks like Rooster's already found it and powered it up. Are you going to attempt to operate it? I imagine with the fire logic. Do you have the crap? What is the actual skill called?
Biotech?
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's biotech.
Okay, but the answer is no. I do have a fairly high logic though, so
what is the rating of that med kit?
I don't know if you had told us when we picked him up.
That's your med kit. But,
rating 30.
Yeah.
I don't recall specifying either.
The number 4 sticks out in my brain for some reason, but that could just be my lucky number this week or something.
So do I add the med kit rating to my roll, or is it just a static roll, a static number?
Sorry, give me just a sec here. I'm trying to find his text entry in the rules.
Here it is.
Talk about something interesting.
It isn't even out yet. It's been out for -2 months, and Cliff doesn't even know all the rules yet.
My gosh.
This is
I
so
just
disappointing.
completely suck. I'm a terrible GM. All right, medkits. They do have a rating. The rating isn't mentioned at all in the text, but it does affect the new yen cost. Yeah, it doesn't seem like. It seems like. Doesn't seem like those doesn't seem like it adds up here. There has to be a cause for the rating then, because otherwise it just adds +1 die for a wireless bonus. I don't see any other purpose for the rating, so I'm just going to use the rating as a dice pool bonus, because let's just do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Instead of the +1 dice pool bonus, 1 wireless, it's plus rating as a dice pool bonus, 1 wireless. So there.
All right. So it's 4 bonus then?
We'll call it a rating 4 unless somebody has it written down otherwise.
All right. Pray for Danen, everyone. Chat.
So
pray.
you
pray
can't use
hard.
any edge right
pray
now?
to Ghost. No, I can't.
Okay.
2 hits.
2.
Hey.
And Danen has an essence of 6.
Yes, sir.
Chat is a bunch of faithless heathens. Every time I ask them to send vibes, it always goes wrong.
So the threshold is 5 minus essence, so it's actually 1 better. So as long as you get any hits, you get 1 extra net hit. So you have 3 hits, that's enough to heal 3 boxes of damage, which is enough to wake up Danen.
Hey!
And
now she can take care of herself.
Ouch!
Yeah,
You
you're
have a
in
spell that
horrible,
can fix my jacket.
horrible pain all over your body. You're laying in filth. You're covered in filth. You don't know where your gore and the gore that's on you, like where that stops and ends, and you don't want to know. This is very unsanitary and horribly painful.
Wasn't there like a clean spell in 5th edition?
Do you have any spells? Do you have a clean spell?
No.
A dry cleaning
spirits
spell.
are still hanging out in astral space nearby, and they like.
Oh, that's a good idea. Danen, can you ask one of your spirit friends to clean my jacket? This is important. Don't ask questions. This is yes or no.
I'm so upset right now. I'm just like, please clean his coat.
That's right. She is professional.
What kind of spirits are these?
A water and a kin.
A water.
Right, so the water spirit
Yes!
shows up and like
Perfect.
It like appears. I'm gonna say like all of a sudden, like in between you, in physical space, there's this like sphere of water that like appears like very tiny and grows to about the size of a little bit smaller than a soccer ball. And it sort of like fills up and then stops and then droops down a bit, but part of it stays up, so like it's this little sort of drooping giant drip of water, and it just sort of floats around, kind of bobbing and drooping and dripping as it goes over to where Jin's jacket is, and just there's this like jet of water that comes out of it that basically pressure washes the jacket. It takes it a good minute or so.
You guys heard it here first.
Danen, you are wonderful, and spirit, whoever you are, nuts.
I'm still crying as I also asked the spirit to give me a shower next. So
Okay.
do me next, please.
I take my jacket and I do a little dance around with it as if it's a real person, and then I put it back on.
The droop thing kind of like moves over to Danen and moves directly above her, and then it starts to kind of bubble a bit in steam, and there's some steam that comes up around it, and then there's before long it starts to become this sort of thick steamy environment just above you, and you can't quite see it, but you find yourself being showered with a rather almost unpleasantly hot shower. Actually, it is unpleasantly hot considering how horribly injured you are.
Ouch!
This
Oh my
hurts.
goodness, that would hurt
Cold,
so bad.
cold, make it cold.
It suddenly starts to get colder some, and like it starts to snow in here, and the spirit gets confused. And overall, you end up getting clean and cold and hot. You're just in more pain. It's terrible and awful.
I'll take it, considering it didn't have another service, so
You,
it could have been like, no.
Yeah, so the thing like, and then it like kind of pops, and then it just sort of like all kind of vanishes. The steam kind of goes away and dissipates quickly, and everything kind of gets back to a normal temperature. The other one, who is the other Force 2 is hanging out in astral space. The kin spirit just sort of like shakes his head and shrugs, as if to suggest like he might have done a better job.
I'm going to, as soon as I see that Danen is up, and as soon as I've put my jacket back on, I'm going to draw, or I should probably pick up my Shiawase Arms Monsoon and start heading around and looking into the other rooms, try to find Matador. I'm not being particularly quiet about it anymore or stealthy. I'm just running from room to room.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Rooster's gonna. Oh, sorry. Continue. Finish what you're doing with Jin.
Danen, what are you doing? Are you gonna do anything to further heal yourself?
Yeah, still crying. I'm gonna cast Cooling Heal on myself.
Okay.
That's a real spell, Cooling Heal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of heals now.
Yeah, if you're on fire, Cooling Heal also makes you not be on fire anymore, on top of healing you.
That would have been a good one while you were on fire.
Right? Except she was unconscious and on fire, and so couldn't cast it, unfortunately.
Right? I'm just saying, like, it's a perfect spell for that moment, and you didn't have it because you were dead.
It's still especially soothing. Like the cooling touch of aloe in a spell, I guess. But I don't know.
You don't want to put aloe on your burnt skin, but still.
I'm at a -4 right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
We believe in you. That's why we left you.
I got 3 hits.
Yeah.
All right, and considering you have full essence, that's going to be enough to heal you for 4 boxes of physical, leaving you with only 2 boxes. So you still look really, really bad. Like your eyebrows are gone. Your hair is mostly burned away. Your eyelashes are mostly gone. Your face is like, it's just like there's blisters all over, and just it's red or like kind of blackened in certain spots, and there's parts where it didn't quite heal as well as others, and there's other parts that just looks totally smooth and fully healed, like a kind of a patchwork freak. You just not having your best day. You probably
Well, so here's what happens. So as I start to heal and I'm at least feeling a little better, I turn and look at the boys and say, am I still pretty? And then immediately pass out because I only healed 1 box of stun from.
Oh, Jesus.
flop.
Jesus Louises.
I'm not even in the room, so I don't.
Well, Rooster was coming back to try to give Danan a pep talk, but he was a second too late, I guess.
Yeah, she turns over and says that and falls over, and you're basically just there to catch her if you want to, or you can let her
catch
fall.
her and check her pockets for a stim patch.
Does
I do
Danan
have
own a
them.
stim patch? Okay,
Yes,
you
I
find one.
All right.
Pull off the wrapping and slap it on her, and suddenly
I
Danan
remembered
will
her
hit a bunch of
using one
stims.
last run, so that's why I was checking her.
Should I assume that you bought rating 6s?
Heck
Or is
yeah.
it something else? Like, okay.
Rating 6, yeah.
So, Danan, you are suddenly awakened abruptly by the massive amount of rush of stimulants, which leaves you reeling and dizzy for a moment as you feel, your body is like, I'm done. I should be shut down and unconscious. But the stims are keeping you going. You know the stims are the only thing that are keeping you going.
Rooster's gonna, as she's coming awake, is holding on to her and kind of like lightly slaps her face a couple of times on both sides. Like just waking her up, not being, And he says, hey, Danan.
What?
Listen.
Danan, you promptly
you're touching
throw
me.
up. You say,
just, you barf right on him. Yeah. No turning the head or anything. Just like you got to say what and like, whoops, this happened. Okay.
Can you do the noise again?
Right. Perfect.
You can find me online for my voice acting abilities, ladies and gentlemen.
Rooster holds on and he looks down and he wipes it off real fast. But he likes Danan, so he's gonna say, "Listen, you almost died there, and if we were in a different situation, I'd say go ahead, let's take some time, let's work through this at your own pace. But right now, we've got a bunch of ghouls and gangers out there, and they're making their way in and out, and we don't have time for this. So we got to get up, we got to get moving, we got to find this guy, and we got to get the frag out of here. We can talk about this later. Are you up? You ready?
Can you talk quieter and slower, please?
All right, let's go."
Okay.
All right. And now, and you're like, I guess, Jin has been stomping around some while you've been sort of having your own. Jin, what are you doing as you're sort of like moving around, like looking for stuff, just checking one room after another?
Yeah, I'm running in as if I'm like breaching a compound. I'm like kicking indoors and pointing my gun at everything and just looking for this guy.
Okay, so at one point you kick in a door and you find yourself facing 2 gang members that each have guns pointed directly at you.
I say, are either of you Matador? Because if not, I'm not looking for you, and we can just call it a day.
You're for Matador? You're the ones shooting the place up?
Yes, and you do not have to get shot. As you can see, I'm wearing my jacket, and so you will die if you attack me now. We can just tell me where Matador is, and I can be on my way. Because you see, I am a Shadowrunner.
There's a taller one and a shorter one. The shorter one says, but there's two of us, and we all have guns. So we have...
You're both
three
Matador?
Times... No, we have 3 times as many guns as you.
I feel like it's dramatically appropriate for Rooster and Danen to show up at that point.
Yes!
No, you're still handling your stuff.
Okay.
So I say, yes, but I'm not looking for you. You do not want to fight me, correct? You do not want to die today. This is my understanding.
They look at each other and shrug. No, we're hiding.
Right.
The other one says, just elbows him. The shorter one elbows the tall one that's they're hiding. I mean, what else am I supposed to say?
Just tell me where Matador is. This is what I ask you. Tell me what I asked you. That's what you're supposed to say.
All right, now at this point, the Rooster is arriving. You can see these guys are pointing guns at Jin, who's got a gun pointed at them.
Okay, so I put my gun away and I walk right up to him and I say, "Listen, now he will shoot you if you do not tell me where Matador is." And I grab him by the face and I say, "You're a good ganger boy. I just need to know where Matador is."
Yeah, and I do.
Or you die.
I nod and I say, "I will shoot you. He's right."
All right, so
we shot everyone else.
Holding my desert strike, and aiming it at them.
All right, I think Jin, you're going to be making a test here. Influence.
This is the big Mohawk edition of 6th edition.
Plus charisma, you're going to get an edge because of I don't know, just the situation.
Am I able
guys
to
coming with guns.
teamwork at all?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You said it was negotiation or something else, or intimidation?
Influence is the skill.
I don't have anything in influence. I have
intimidation is a specialization of influence, but so is like just about every other social skill. So it's the social skill pretty much.
Well, I got 4 hits on my teamwork portion of it.
That wouldn't help you, but we'll just use your roll because, yeah, with you arriving, they just kind of put their guns down, like, all right, fine, whatever, we don't care. He's in the building, and they give you directions. It's not like he's in room X amount. It's like go around this hallway, take a left, and then a right, a little ways down, and then up the stairs, and it's fairly easy to follow, but it's a little bit meandering and more just like that's how they know the place and get around, I guess. Right. There's no AR signs or anything left to show the way around the place anymore from what the building once was. And assuming that you don't want to pick a fight with them after having given that information, they slam the door closed.
Yep. I'm not picking up.
Okay. No, that's fine. Jin was actually not terribly confident he could win that one, but he was just going for it. Confidence, my friends. Confidence can get you things that you cannot normally get using your non-confidence. So let's move on.
Based on the people that were in there, when I had floated in and the hellhound had bit me, like, was that the same room? Same number of people?
You're not quite sure where you are or what floor you're on at this point. But you're pretty sure those were not the same people. You'd have to sense them to be sure, but
that sounds like work. Okay.
You're having trouble kind of telling whether or not you're astrally perceiving or not, because you just kind of have this vibrating, floating feeling at all times.
I'm gonna Rooster's gonna take point and start following the directions. Jin, I need you to take up rear. Make sure nothing follows us. We had, all those guys from outside. Danen, you stay between us.
Aye, aye, quarterback.
Mm.
And I'm assuming the guarding the back stance. My gun is gigantic, by the way. And so even if I am not 100% awesome at following directions, I can shoot this big damn.
I think what I'll do is I'm going to allow one person to make the stealth test for the group, and you guys can pick that. Are you taking any other actions to... Because the invisibility spells are down, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you want to risk the drain of putting them back up or not.
Nope.
I'll roll it. I feel like it might be.
I have 6 dice total in that.
I wasn't gonna worry about that portion of it. I was just gonna say it feels like with giving orders and taking point, it might make sense for me to roll.
Yeah, go ahead and do your thing, bud.
I got 3 hits.
Cool.
All right, with 3 hits, you're able to kind of like stop and hide a bit as out of one of the rooms, a guy comes walking out.
Yeah, go.
And crosses the hall
Put my
and
finger up to
enters
my mouth
that room, and you can
do the putting my hand up thing.
you hear him rummaging around in there, and you're just about ready to move on, and then he comes back out, and you can see he's another ghoul, and he's got what looks like like a chopped off arm, like a forearm with a hand still on it. He's just basically absentmindedly takes a chunk off it as he crosses the hall and goes back to whatever room he originally came from. It's not your target room.
I covered
no,
Danen's
there's
eyes.
a ghoul around here somewhere.
Only, not because she's too weak to witness this, but she's already apparently demonstrated she has a weak stomach right now.
I appreciate it.
And then you make your way up to the room that is the one that you were told about, the one that's got the scrap metal reinforced door.
Yeah.
And there it is. It seems to be like the door is there. It's intact. It's closed. No one's hanging around outside of it. There doesn't appear to be any sort of like devices or...
Yeah, I would have asked. I would have stood my hand up and under sub-vocal, I would have asked, Jin, you see any icons on the inside?
Do I see any icons on the inside?
You do not see any icons on the inside.
I do not
that one
see
for
any
free.
icons on the inside.
Danen,
This
can
place
we
is
get,
a
can we get some eyes in
ugly
the
Matrix
astral?
dead zone.
Killing Time Part 1.
Let's get
Knock
some
the
eyes.
door in.
Let's get some eyes on the astral, Danen.
Stop
Let's
stealthing.
find
The
out.
dock wagon will be here in like a minute. We need to get this done.
I'd like to know which direction to slice the pie, so to speak.
Just start kicking in doors.
I'll try. I look at him and go. I can't see the astral through solid objects, and I am not going in there alone.
All right. I understand. I gotcha. You had a bad experience earlier. Let's
Kick
go.
in doors. Kick in doors.
I'm afraid of dogs.
I'll kick in the door.
All right, when you get up to the door, like it's got a padlock and a chain on this like big chunky thing. You don't have to keep kicking if you don't want to. It seems like maybe like a mini welder or something would be a better tool, or even a crowbar or
Well,
something.
now he knows we're coming, idiot.
You haven't
told
kicked
me
the
to
door
kick
yet.
down the We're those two guys behind the couch. You told me to
You-
kick down the door.
You may kick the door still if you want to, but you don't have to kick the door. You go up and you see that. You're like,
Okay.
That said, if you're tough enough, you might be able to kick down the door.
Are you tough enough, Rooster? With a name like Rooster, it makes me feel like maybe not. Don't you have explosive rounds though?
I do have
That would be
explosive
fun.
rounds. I also have I've got a stun grenade. Yeah, I don't know if I could kick it down. I'm actually not that strong.
You have an explosive rounds in your gun. Shoot the damn door.
Yeah, no,
Or shoot the wall next to it.
I'm looking for my best options. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll shoot it. I'll go. Good idea. Explosive
Yes.
rounds. Got it.
Yes.
We don't have time for
Nothing
this.
can go wrong.
Assuming you're just gonna blow off the chain and the padlock, you take a few shots and you blow that off, and suddenly it's able to swing free, and you're able to I guess move on into the room, doing
now
a fancy
I kick
slicing the pie and whatever. So I kick the door open, it swings open. The place is just dark, like pitch dark, and there's like just a few like odds and ends, like debris and stuff around the room, like old newspaper and some rags and whatever, and the furniture is almost relatively intact.
I do
there's
have
a little bit of warmth.
Thermographic just to make sure that you are aware.
There's a little bit of warmth still coming from the inactive Trid set that's here. There's a little portable power generator. Go ahead and give me a perception test for whoever's going in first.
Definitely, Rooster would be the one who goes in first.
Jin will be right behind him, literally back to back.
Oh, nice.
Right, Jin, you can roll a perception test as well.
Professional-like. And I also have, I believe it's low light vision that elves have.
2 hits.
I'll look at the spirit of man too,
4
or the spirit of
hits.
kin, and I'll also say, go help them, please.
Yeah, kinfolk. Every time I hear the spirit of kin, I keep thinking like some southern boy with like
Spirit of
with
kin.
like overalls on, like, hey,
No.
hey, it's me, your kin spirit.
Well, it used to be spirit of man, right? And that was kind of a gender term, so
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind
I
of a
like
nice
the change. Yeah, I like the change. I just can't help hearing kinfolk in my head. Well,
so,
the spirit of Jeb and the spirit of Wally.
Yeah, I have a lot of family that talk that way. I'm here.
Right.
This Force 2 kin spirit kind of has the look of a well, imagine like a garden gnome that's been living in like a Mad Max apocalypse. So it's got like the goggles, the sort of pointy hat is kind of like, it's made of this kind of rusted metal, and it's got kind of that look to it, and it kind of, when you send it that order, you're not just saying words, you're giving it an impression. When you're like, go help them, like, what are you thinking of? Like, what kind of help are you think? Is it like to protect them against danger, to like help them do certain things?
Yeah, it's basically help like protect us from getting further attacked. Like there's that fear underlying in my gut that another dog is going to pop out and I'm going to start losing my Drek. So yeah, just kind of protect us, help them do this.
It says, what about from that astrally perceiving guy who's clinging to the corner in the wall in there? As it's saying that is like as Rooster is getting hit by a throwing knife from the guy who's like the matador is basically pulling off like a ninja move, like up in the corner and like with the gecko tape gloves and chucking a knife down at you. You haven't noticed him.
Yep. That's yep.
Frag!
Mage in the corner.
So, Rooster, go ahead and roll your body. You're soaking damage on this. That's it.
Well. I do get an edge for. Do I get to use edge if I'm surprised? Can you do that?
I think so. At least on the soak roll. You get no defense test because you were unaware of him. But
yeah. That's fine. All right. I will roll. Just body. 2 hits. I'll use my free toughness bonus edge to re-roll one of those. So let's go with. Did not get an extra, so I got 2 hits.
all right, so you take 5 boxes of damage.
Holy
like, there's
dreck.
sudden pain. It's like you're looking down at like the hilt of a throwing knife just sticking in your chest, and it hurts a lot. And I guess we'll go with initiative here. So we're not really doing a surprise test. Maybe I should have done a surprise round and everything, but it seemed more appropriate to let this guy get his like free shot off and then go into combat. So, but yes, there are surprise test rules in the game still. Cool TC. So I guess go ahead and roll your initiatives and call out the numbers.
All right.
And then keep in mind any spells that you had been sustaining
Are gone. Yeah,
when you
I'm
went unconscious have been dropped.
I am tired.
But down.
19 again. I get 19 every time. I mean, I'm not complaining too much, but
23.
nice boy.
11.
Yeet. Oh wait, that can't be right. I'm sorry. I'm not in VR anymore.
Oh.
Let me reroll.
All right, well, Rooster, you're first on 19. You have been struck by a throwing knife. Give me a perception test. You just need one hit to see where it came from. Yeah, no, you definitely noticed the knife, but like to see where it came from.
Right.
My initiative is 9 instead.
I have damage wound modifiers.
Yep.
3 hits though. Wow, that's good on 7 dice.
Yeah, you kind of glance up and to the right, and like you just like about 3 meters away from you. Up in the corner is this guy like hanging out, like clinging up there like fragging Spider-Man. He's just got his arm extended out like he just threw a knife at you, which he totally did. Didn't hit you in the neck, fortunately, but it hurts a lot.
You fragger! And I'm gonna fire at him. Wait, hold on. Are we supposed to take this guy alive? I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh, god damn.
Doesn't necessarily have to be like, unhurt.
Right.
He can be injured or even maimed, but like, alive is good.
In that case, I wouldn't
19
fire.
Rooster.
I probably wouldn't fire at him. What would you call the action that it would take to pull the knife out of my chest and throw it back at him?
I'm going to say you're going to have to make a composure test and get 3 hits in order to do it as a minor action. If you fail that test, it's going to cost you a major action because it takes you a little bit to steel yourself.
All right, that's not going to happen. My composure is not going to cut it. For those who are wondering, composure is willpower plus charisma. But that only gives me 5 dice. Instead, I'm gonna try to take cover behind something, and try to make an ammo switch.
All right, you can essentially duck around the wall and basically move around the room, and then take full cover 4. If you want to take cover in the room, though, you're limited to cover 2.
All right, definitely would take full cover after getting hit in the chest with a knife.
So you duck back out of the room, back out of the door you kicked in, and around the corner. Change out your ammo.
Yeah, so that would be taking cover would be a minor action. Switching the ammo, you could call it a reload action, right? Or would you call that something else?
Yeah, reload sounds good.
Okay. And so I still have a major action and 3 minor actions. Can I I can fire from cover with the smart link, but isn't that an action, firing from cover?
It's a minor action in addition to the major action to fire.
Okay, so I will fire from cover. I think the smart link would allow me to do it without an extra action, but I don't know if it makes sense that I would be able to.
Maybe it does. No, I think it still takes the other action, but the smart link lets you be able to gain and use edge where you normally would not otherwise be able to do so.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'll do that. So that gives me 2 minor actions left to aim. I'll aim with both of them. I switched to stick and shock, by the way.
Yep, you're looking through the smart link's gun cam in like a picture-in-picture view to see where he is. You're used to using a gun like this.
Yeah. I've done it already in this run. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to fire.
What's your attack rating? You're going to be at the second range category. It's near, I believe.
Attack rating, a total attack rating of 12.
That will get you an edge.
Yeah, damn right it will. Okay. And then I'm going to, like I said, oh, I guess it would have given me 13 technically because the stick and shock gives you additional attack rating as well. All right. So after all that is said and done, I'm going to fire my, well, hold on, 13, it actually would have been 9 because I'm doing a narrow burst. Would that still give me a...
That will not get you an edge.
Okay, so I don't have the edge, but I'm doing the narrow burst with stick and shock. All right, so I'll roll that. That gives me 16 dice. I aimed twice. That's going to give me the 18. We're taking this guy. One hit. Ready? One hit, you guys. Well, 6 hits. I've done better on 18 dice.
All right, you fire, the dude like drops and then tucks and rolls, but you expect that maneuver, right? So you kind of lead in that direction and you're able to trace him and you can see telltale sparks of the stick and shock striking person wearing a lined coat. So it's what's the damage with 2 net hits?
With 2 net hits, we would have 5p plus the burst would be 7p. 2 net hits would be 9, but then minus 1 for the stick and shock, so it would be 8 stun.
Okay, so it hits him, zaps him a bunch of, but he is still conscious, and you can see that his like lined coat is dissipating some of the force of that energy, and it's giving off some smoke afterwards as it burns away some of the non-conductivity that was on it before.
Do you want me to look
so
up
he's not zapped.
Do you know the electric... Oh, that's what you just said, is the zapped,
yep.
right?
Yep, the way the armor mods work for the elemental stuff now is they're essentially, you buy X amount of rating or points of cold or fire or electrical protection or whatever, and anytime you would suffer that negative effect of that element, you don't. But then one of that rating points gets burned away.
Right. And
you have to buy it again.
Since this is the first time we're seeing it here, there's a whole new status effect thing that is happening in 6th edition, which is just a list of a bunch of different statuses, and that's what the electric attacks do, is they provide a zapped status if the attacks land, and that's what Mr. Johnson's talking about right now, is that it negates it, the elemental armor stuff.
We have also seen the burn status and the invisible status this game.
All right, on 16, Matador goes, and he let's see, he's just been hit for a bunch of damage. He's not enjoying that. He was hoping he wouldn't be coming in here. Let's see. He is going to. He doesn't really have that many options. I guess he says, "Stop! I'm not with this gang. I'm just hiding here."
All right.
I don't want to fight you.
We don't want to fight you either. So
Good,
stop
then.
fighting.
Move along. I'm not with the fleshmongers.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
I guess as he's talking, he draws his katana, and he's gonna take cover. He's got cover 2, basically taking cover behind like some of the furniture in the room.
Remind me why we were looking for this guy.
He's the job.
You're Shadowrunners, and
this is an extraction
target.
I know
You've been
that.
hired to drag his ass out of the CZ.
I guess I want to remember whether it's likely he would come if we give him the details.
The reasoning that your Johnson gives you is, I don't know, he owes somebody money or something.
All right.
The important thing is you're getting paid to get the guy.
Right.
I think that was basically how Big Dave put it.
All right, Brewster's gonna say, listen, we're here to get you out. Somebody's looking for you, and we're bringing you, all right? Whether you come quietly or not, we're doing it.
You told him.
All right.
Thanks for having my back, Jim.
Then I guess we'll move on in initiative. It is now Denen's turn. What are you doing?
I'm
Seems
getting
like they're-
impatient and not feeling well, so
Oh.
yeah, I think that I'm gonna hold action just to see if this guy's gonna come or not, and if not, I'm gonna get the spirit involved to do something or try to. He's low force, so we'll see.
Okay, he's not going to act again until next round. So if you want to do anything with your actions, this is basically you'll have to do that before next round. So if you think of something, let me know. In the meantime, Jin, what are you doing on your turn?
Jin.
I am going to light him up with my Shiawase Arms Monsoon. Because we have a dog wagon on the way.
So you step in the room.
Yeah, well, I'm already in the room. I was back to back with.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're kind of standing there, and he sort of moved behind some cover. And he's got a sword out.
Yeah, so I am going to pre-edge this. I can still do that, right?
Yeah, with four edge.
You're going to be at near range. What's your attack rating?
At near 12.
That's enough for an edge, even with his cover bonus. Unless you're doing a burst or something that will bring it down.
No, this is good. So if I do the pre-edge, what does that do? I'm having trouble finding.
Similar to the way that worked before, you get to add your edge to your dice pool, and you get exploding sixes.
Okay. So my agility is 5. My firearms is my gun, because my smart gun system is giving me a +1, so that's 11. Plus another 5 for my edge, so that's going to be a 16 exploding dices. Exploding dice?
Exploding
All right.
Dice.
Does Roll20 do exploding dice?
It can, but I don't remember what the equation is, so I would just reroll it.
So that's 2 6s, so 2 more dice.
Wow!
Oh my gosh, 8 plus 2? Come on.
One of those is a 6, so roll another die.
We're gonna need Doc.
This is the best. This is the best roll I've ever gotten in Shadowrun.
Wow.
So that's a that's a 10.
That was 10 hits on 16 dice.
All right, that would be 8 net hits.
Oh my god.
That's a 4p damage. Soak that roll. Otherwise, Jin is moving back to Constantinople.
You just did 12 points of physical damage to him. You just riddled him with bullets. He goes to try to leap out of the way. You're like, nah, just drill him. And there's this spray behind him of blood that streaks along the wall.
I
from
switched to
exit
stick
wounds.
and shock.
And he drops to the ground and
Cooling heal! Cooling heal! No!
Is he dead?
He certainly looks dead. Dinen, you have an action that you haven't used. Would you like to do something now?
I was kind of waiting
you have
to see what the
stabilize spell, right?
no. I was seeing what the what the other two were doing.
We have a
And
med
as
kit.
soon as I see,
Well, you
yeah,
saw.
as soon as I see
Oh
Jin
wait,
do
sorry.
that,
There's this little like Burning Man fair looking garden gnome like pops into existence and points at the guy who was just shot and says, "Look out! There's a guy in here." Oh,
What?
he looks down at the guy and says, "Oh."
Well,
Yes.
well.
I'm just gonna run to him and go ahead and try to heal him.
All right.
Should we shackle him first?
I'm worried about him dying, so no.
Okay, so you go running in. Yeah, he's messed up. He's been shot a lot. On top of the stick and shock and everything, and the bullets. He doesn't look like he's gonna make it unless you pull off some sort of a medical miracle here.
I got
what are you
5
doing?
hits. I'm casting the cooling heal.
Okay, you start to cast the spell, and the magic won't take hold. His life force is fading away. He'll need to be stabilized before you can heal him.
Get that
Mother
med kit.
shoot. All right, someone give me a med kit.
Here's the med kit.
Okay, we'll start doing that.
All right, you attempt to stabilize him using the med kit. Make the biotech plus logic roll. Oops, I mean logic roll -1 plus 4 for the rating of the med kit.
Hey, thanks for the cheers, cool.
1 hit. Let me see. And I have no edge.
Your med kit is
I'm
telling
gonna-
you to seek seek further medical attention or apply a trauma patch.
I'm gonna spend my 2 edge that I have left to give 1 edge to Jeanette.
Multiple fatal injuries detected. You can try again with the med kit with a -2 on your dice if you want, or I don't know if you have a trauma patch, I suppose.
I do not have a trauma patch. I call for one. Trauma patch, someone.
What's the timer on the dock wagon? Like it should be here any minute, right?
It's been about 5 minutes since you triggered it.
Ugh.
All right, so
been
I'm
long. Longer in our time,
I did
but
not time that very well.
I will try the med kit again at -2.
It's under
Okay.
10 minutes, so they could be getting.
Go ahead.
4 hits out of 5 dice. Freak.
Nice.
Wow.
You also have an edge that I gave you.
I
Yeah,
don't
thanks.
think she needs it for this. Maybe
Okay.
save that for later because yeah, you pull off some super awesome stuff and like you're like popping up the different screens and looking through different stuff and you're like multiple fatal injuries. Okay, there's multiple ones that can point to different ones. You're like, okay, stop the bleeding here. Do the anti-shock drug here, and I don't know, some other like a cardio stimulator here, and then also we need to make sure to clear the airway there, and like you just pull off like just try all these different things that the med kit's showing you to do, and like yeah, like when you're looking at this person who like should be a messy corpse, and then you look over at the biomonitor reading, it's going bloop, 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 and it says stable. Now you can do your healing magic if you want.
No. Just shackle him up.
If he's
Moving him
stabilized.
at this point might be enough to like destabilize him. He's
But-
very close to dead.
We can just walk. We can just wait for dock wagon, and then just
Yeah.
say, hey, this is the guy, and then we can follow dock wagon back to downtown, and then just chill until he wakes up, and then collect our stuff. The weaker he is, the less he could fight back. At least that's how we do it on the mean streets of Istanbul.
I'm surprisingly down with this plan.
I hear it and I look skeptically at Rooster and he's like nodding, I guess. So I'm like, what the
Doc
frag
Wagon's not
ever?
going to ask any questions. That's how it works. Unless they figure out that Jin did something stupid with the Doc Wagon.
And then we're all dead.
That's
No, I can keep this. I can keep this going. I'm good at that. I got my jacket back on, so it's all good.
It'll make things a lot less complicated to exfil this guy. You got to remember, there's a bunch of gangers still surrounding this building. We got to get out just the same way we got in.
No, we got to wait for Dock Wagon.
But that's
and
what I'm
then
saying.
just
If we
follow
don't
them.
take the Dock Wagon route, I'm agreeing with you, Jin.
Okay, all right. It's like, man, I came up with this brilliant plan in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
I think we should just go with it.
It was really good. I think you're thinking on your toes. I like the way you think, Jin.
All right.
I'm very smart and handsome.
Are you good? Your plan is to sit tight then, and for a few minutes and wait for Dock Wagon to show up. Then.
Yep.
I think resting would be perfect.
Okay. Dinan, are you doing any healing on anybody?
Don't worry about it on me. I've got 6 boxes, but I'll take the med kit. And
Yeah, they're the med kits are where we need to be because
I'm not a very
you guys are too cybered. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very responsive to your healing, so.
Yeah. And I don't want to take lots of drain right now.
Right. It wouldn't be worth it for the 1, probably 0 boxes of damage that you end up healing.
If we need to stabilize, maybe, or if you guys are close to death, but no, not for this.
All right, Dr. Jin.
5 minutes goes by, and there's no sign of Dock Wagon yet.
What the
It's
frick?
now been
for
10
God's
minutes
sake.
since you triggered the thing.
Can I do a matrix search to look?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
What are you looking for? You cut off a bit there.
Just to look for the Dock Wagon. You know, like just do a general search in in the radius of the area.
Okay.
I have a program called Browse. It gives me 1 edge that I can either spend on this action or immediately disappear. So I might as well have an action or have a. I'm going to use it no matter what. So,
Go for it. It's electronics plus intuition.
so that would be 10 dice. For 3, what can I do with 1 dice, everybody?
Reroll 1 die with 1 edge
Well, then I'll re-roll 1.
in this context.
0, so just 3 dice.
Okay. With 3 hits, that's enough where you're able to pick up on, there is a Dock Wagon ambulance that is transmitting. It's still probably about 2 minutes out at like normal ambulance speeds, but it's basically like transmitting a warning. Dock Wagon on a mission, and you actually like find like a reference number and some additional paperwork. They apparently have like a mercenary team along with them. Blue Steel Industries combat team has been hired to escort them, and any gang turf claims will not be honored, but they will not enter combat with anyone who stands down.
Okay, I'm going to do this thing where I add to that file that's on their record and tell them who to look for. And I'm going to give them this guy. I'm going to basically change all of the physical characteristics of the person who has the Dock Wagon contract so that they're looking for Matador instead.
That's going to be an edit file action. You'll need to have, I'm going to say, user access to their systems, like their main comm system at least.
Okay. Man, I really don't want to get into it with Dock Wagon, so I think I'm going to go... Yeah, I've got time, so I might as well go a little bit. I'm not as good when I'm not doing brute force, but... So I guess I need a probe, is that right?
First a probe action, and then a backdoor entry.
Okay, so this is a hacking.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's going to be 8
You can assume that you're going
hacking.
hot sim for this, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want, that'll basically get you a point of edge for being hot sim with each opposed action you do, and then you have analytical mind.
I do.
Okay, so you're getting 2 edge per action on this,
All right.
which is the max.
So my hacking specialty gives me 8 dice plus logic 6, so 14. Seven hits. Yowza.
Awesome. And I rolled like crap on the resistance for the backdoor entry, so I'm just going to have you buy hits on that roll, and you succeed. And you have now gained user access to this this system, which is it's a PTAC enabled cyber deck.
That's pretty boss. So I want to take my time here and not screw anything.
So yeah, it's this tactical networking hub that's analyzing and incorporating and updating data for a whole bunch of for basically this combat team. It's tapped in and sharing data with the Blue Steel Industries one, but only like immediate combat data, not operational or company information. So you shouldn't have to do a separate hack on them theoretically. They should follow orders, I guess.
All right, so this is an edit file then?
Yep. And that's electronics plus logic. And again, you get 2 edge for your stuff.
That's 1. What did I need? Versus intuition and firewall, or fireball and sleaze. Yeah. So I'll let that happen. I'm not gonna do anything. If I fail, then I'll just try again. They're far enough away.
Okay, there's no consequences for failure other than not succeeding. So there you go. That's a good one to fail at, I suppose. So you can try again, but I'm going to give you the -2 on your dice pool for the following action since there aren't any other consequences.
Alrighty. When I'm doing an edit file, I gain 1 edge that must immediately be spent. So
you're already getting 2 edge anyways, which caps it out. So because it's a logic action, analytical mind gives you 1, and your hot sim that gives you another 1. So if you were an AR and not hot sim, then it would come into play and get you that other edge
Gotcha.
you're not getting for not being hot sim.
Well, that's 2, and I'm just gonna use, was it 2 edge to bump one of those up to 3?
Yep.
Yeah, so just 3 hits.
Yeah, 3 hits is not enough to cut it. It's resisting your attempts to edit it. It's got some additional, not really encryption so much, but other safeguards. When you change something, it gets updated from the original save file, and the second time you're trying to work towards what's behind there, but there's an additional, it's really clever. They obviously don't like people fragging with this stuff.
All right, one more time, and this time I'm gonna pre-edge. Do I need to
And
take
you're
2
down
dice off of
4 dice this time instead of 2.
So this is 12 and exploding 6. That's 6. Somebody tell me how many 6s I got, because mine is...
Don't worry about it. That's already enough. So you're finally just pound your way through. You get a little frustrated, put some oomph behind it. Maybe you pull out one of your special little one-shot hacker tools that's a pain in the ass to write up another code, and just fire that one off, and boom, you've got the stuff cracked on it. You do the edit stays in place. You're like, stay, and it stays.
Nice. Okay, so they're going to be looking for Matador when they come busting in. All we got to do is just back off, then follow them to the hospital.
Okay. And then I guess if you wait then, about 2 minutes later, the ambulance is rolling up with the sirens coming on, and then like it's like a dinner bell to the fleshmongers. They start like rushing, like even more of them showed up than what you had seen there before. They kind of been drawn out of the woodwork, and yeah, they're under fire from like a good like 20 or so fleshmongers that like coming at them, and like they're not just rushing like blind attackers either, taking advantage of cover, and like there's blue steel guys who are shooting back. They brought some big like machine gun fire, grenades going off, some flamethrowers.
Dude, we hacked this. This is a life hack.
Are you gonna sit back and watch the show, or are you gonna?
Hell yeah!
Going on.
No, this is fun. Let's just let the fleshmongers get thrashed.
And that is ultimately what happens. The blue steel does get rushed, like sneak attacked, as like basically a couple of ghouls leap down from like a second story or something, like do this running leap across farther than they should be able to go. Like they might be adepts or something, and they just tear into the squad. They like probably kill 4 of these blue steel guys before they're put down by the remaining 2, and then the dock wagon guys, including the turret that's mounted on this. Basically, it's an armored up bus that's converted into an ambulance. Between the turret firing from there, which actually gets damaged, so it seems to be like not firing as accurately, and the other like dock wagon personnel, they end up putting down the remaining fleshmongers. The last one is like running away and trying to get away, and like one of the blue steel guys has just like turns, like shakes his, so I'll frag that, mate, and like thunk, fires off a grenade from his grenade launchers.
I look over at Rooster and I say, see? Told you my plan was going to be awesome.
Hey, you pulled through. I'll bring a grenade launcher next time.
I put my gun down, by the way.
The bus starts moving forward, but one of the blue steel guys runs around, like in front, waves his arms, like there's an argument. He stands, he's pointing his gun at the dock wagon ambulance. The other one's shouting a bunch. The dock wagon people are shouting. They're pointing guns at each other. After an argument, like they just stop, and like the dock wagon guys get out and start tending to the blue steel guys who were ripped into by the ghouls. And that's going to take them a while. Are you doing anything else during this?
So I look at Rooster and Danan and think, what do you think they're arguing about?
Bringing them into ghoul territory, maybe. I don't know.
Should we, since they're all gone, do you think we should just bail?
It looked like Dock Wagon was planning on rolling on, like, and leaving the blue steel guys laying where they fell. The blue steel guys were like, "Help them!"
This has created an interesting opportunity for us. I mean, we could just leave now because there's no dudes down there.
I feel like,
I mean, I could just stop the hack and then walk to the van.
Yeah. Go ahead.
How do we guarantee we get our guy though?
Well, we could just take him. And then I could just stop the hack, and it'll revert back to they won't be looking for him anymore. I mean, like, they'll wonder why they're here. That might cause them to be upset because they just lost some dudes. Yeah, maybe we should just keep the hack going.
Yeah, maybe let's just let them do their thing.
How about we just walk to the van and then let them come and get this guy?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
But how do we know when they release this guy later? We need this guy.
Well, like, once they get him to the hospital, they don't care anymore.
So we just follow them to the hospital then?
Yep.
All right.
It's easy money.
I'm down with
it. It always works out easy.
Do you call any of this easy money?
I mean, like, so far the hardest part was all the rats, and I admit that was filthy, but that was last job, and we're doing fine. I think we work well together.
Were you paying attention for the past, like...
Let's argue about it later.
You're right. My jacket almost did get damaged irreversibly, and that.
As you're having this conversation, they've patched up the dock wagon personnel have patched up the injured, or dying, or potentially dead blue steel guys, and loaded them up into their big ass bus ambulance wagon thing.
It's not very professional. I mean, they have a job to do, and
they resumed pulling up to this building, and they kill the siren like before they finish approaching, and the two remaining Blue Steel guys are kind of like hanging around, like they're standing on top of the bus with their guns at the ready.
We're walking to the van now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Are you moving?
Yeah, guns away, and just walking very calmly to the van.
What are you doing with Matador's unconscious, frail, nearly dead form?
We're trying to make it so that it's easy for Dockwagon to get to it, and take charge. Do their thing of trying to keep this guy alive and get him somewhere. Like they're better. They're definitely better equipped to keep this guy alive and get him out of here than we are. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, is that he be transported somewhere else under capable hands.
He is stable, right?
That's what the med kit says.
Yeah, stable.
It's rating 4. It's probably right.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
if it's stable, we just walk to the van, get in the van, and just wait for the dock wagon to bring him out.
All right, you make your way back to your van. Dock wagon moves in. They recover him, and they start bringing him back out. I guess you're back at the van, kind of waiting to hear what happens, and
we just need to know what hospital they're going to be taking him to.
Just follow them.
If you're waiting for the ambulance to move on, and it doesn't, and some time passes, 5 minutes goes by, the ambulance hasn't moved.
Can I hack in maybe to one of their comm links, see what's going on?
Yeah, sure. It's still protected by a pretty strong firewall, but
I should still have my stuff in place, right?
But yeah, you got your back door or your probe in place, so you can do a backdoor entry and buy your hits and get your way in. And you start bringing up feeds and whatnot, and you see a scene of carnage. It looks like all of the remaining Blue Steel guys and the Dockwagon personnel are dead.
What?
They've all been shot by some sort of like silenced weaponry or something. And Matador is also dead as well with a just bullet through the face.
What the?
What? Can I look at more footage?
I think we'll leave it at there and pick it up. Somebody moved in and stealth killed the.
Gosh darn it!
Yep, somebody moved in and stealth killed the Dockweight. What was left of the Dockweight team.
So that provides another opportunity. I mean, like, there's a lot of cool tech in there. We could probably just gank.
But
I mean, like, it might actually the dock wagon and Blue Steel stuff might actually be worth more than the job.
Oh man, I can't believe you knocked the guy out before he got to say something in response. It would have been such a big deal thing that would have come out of his mouth.
Dang it!
No.
But no, Jin gunned him down and didn't heal him.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Cliff.
I mean, it's not as bad as you guys totally leaving the orcs and dwarves or whatever, like, in the superhumans' hands to be sold off to the Yakuza.
We're the worst team.
We are the worst team.
It's a new edition. It's a new edition. We don't know what we're doing yet. We don't know how to be Shadowrunners.
It's a new edition. Yeah. We don't know how the world works.
I would say it's been a fun session. I have to say it's definitely reiterated to me that the critters are fragging scary. That hellhound, I think, was the scariest thing on the field.
It took Danen out pretty quick.
I mean, it might not have if I could actually roll freaking dice.
You did roll
which I think is demonstrably you're unable to do.
Yeah. You rolled insanely bad. You rolled 0 hits, then you used Edge to reroll all your failures and still got 0 hits. And I rolled like more than 2/3 of my dice on hits on that attack roll. So, you know.
I can't say again how much I really like decking in this edition. It just feels great, especially with, I'll say this, with a GM that is permissive, right? If you have a GM that's like, no, I don't think that it does exactly, like, I think that could be lame, but like you're permissive enough, right? That like you don't, I don't know how to say what I'm saying, other than like if there's no matrix action that it does exactly what I want it to do, you find the one that's close enough and roll with that, and I appreciate that.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, sometimes I might, be like, hey, that doesn't really fit what you can do. You'd have to do something else that fits. But I think anything you were doing made sense and like it fit. I don't think I was bending the rules too much, if at all.
I don't know that, like, if I had a player that kept doing this dock wagon trick, I don't think I would let it happen more than once.
Right.
I think that I would make the local dock wagon go like, well, that was shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a stereotype of like you exploit dock wagon as an I win button in Shadowrun. So, like, you were able to do that, but there were still various things and complications and stuff that happened as a result. And ultimately, I know in my mind like what's going on behind the scenes, so I can adjust like what course actions will go through. Like you guys, I was actually expecting you guys to be attacked by that hit squad. I thought there was a very good chance that you're going to be burning edge and waking up somewhere afterwards. And the way you worked it up instead, the dock wagon team was the one that was wiped out and killed. When this like whoever they were did what they did.
Totally planned that. Dock wagon was our way of keeping distance and a safe distance between us and a risky target.
I will say that like Kenji makes a good point. Like, what the hell is powerful enough to just waste an entire dock wagon and blue steel?
I mean, I kind of hand waved it right. I didn't roll dice to see how.
Doesn't matter. It's the threat.
It probably would have been noisier or something, but yeah, whatever. There's bullets.
Yeah, no, I mean, Rooster,
people, especially in this edition, it almost doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Rooster's certainly worried and scared right in this moment because dock wagon. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like they're being called into like, oh, that's like Heart of Fleshmonger territory. Okay, we're gonna get the big armored van and we're gonna get a merc team out here, and this fragging client is gonna pay through the goddamn nose.
Yeah.
Formerly known as Fleshmonger territory.
Yeah.
Now it's just
it's our territory. It's our territory now.
That's right. We're just. That's right. This campaign took a turn, and now we're just the new gangers of this territory.
That's right. We're setting up shop now.
It's Jin and the fashion mongers. Nope. That's
Nope.
All right. Well, that one fell pretty flat. We're gonna move on. Hey, Cliff, great job today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was intense and nerve-wracking.
Yeah, we like to do a little bit of a debriefing and hot take on what we the rules. I know Opti, you just gave yours on the re-emphasizing how much you're liking decking in this edition. Anything new to say about Magic so far, Sarah?
Oh, it was exciting actually getting some edge this time.
Right, with the spirits, right?
Yeah, and then I don't know, the second half of the game I have nothing to tell you.
And then blowing it all with 0 hits over and over again.
Yeah, I'm pretty great, guys.
I have to say that I think if Danen was an anarchy character, then one of her cues would definitely be.
I fail at rolling.
It would just be that noise. Oh yeah, also that.
I play my character only in sound effects, that's all. Someone mentioned earlier in the chat, and I think I agree, that Danen now has a hellhound phobia.
Oh my gosh.
Or dog phobia. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to gank or have a ghoul jump on Jin while he foolishly went full VR in the middle of a combat. I so wanted to just have one of them turn and shoot you or something. I just didn't really get the chance.
Well, again, I thought about that, and my thought was, right now I'm calling Dogwagon on them. Like, if I get hurt really bad, I can just call Dogwagon on myself instead.
Yeah.
You'd popped the guy's Uzi, and he saw what went on and happened in the room and decided, hey, I have an opportunity to not die. I'm going to take that opportunity now. And that made a lot more sense than trying to pick up a gun and fight to the end. I always like to role play my NPCs more
It's fun.
than just see them as enemies that will fight, tactically until they're defeated.
Austin, what did you think?
Lol.
He's been frozen this whole night. What the hell, Bobby?
Man, he's held that.
Gotta work on that
pretty
Discord.
Good. He's held that
Maybe we wouldn't have gotten so murdered if Austin had been here.
How many more of these do we have? Is it 2 more or 3 more?
Let me check the schedule. I believe we have 2 more.
I think it's
maybe more. Who knows?
It's kind of what I have planned. I may have to move things along a little bit next time, or we'll see if we have a skipper back or not.
Yeah, well, when we talked to him, he said it was the next 2 episodes that he was gonna possibly have to miss. But let's see. In June, today was June 27th, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I know that next week we will not be having an episode. We're resuming our 2-week schedule starting now, with all the we shuffled things around a bunch with the streamathon, with 4th of July coming up, with things like Origins messing things up and everything. Just shuffled things around, and but other than that. Starting in July, I suppose we've got 2 more episodes. We've got one on the 11th. That'll be the next one. And then again on the 25th will be our final Shadowrun 6th edition sort of preview thing. Because guess what? We don't need to preview it anymore because
we'll just be viewing it.
Yeah, everyone will just be able to just view it. So yeah, it'll be up by then from at Gen Con. So. I don't have anything new to say. I think I did. The combat continues to be incredibly fun for my character with the actions that I have. I tried not to use my normal anticipation.
We had so many minor actions to burn with those dodge and blocks.
So that's the one thing I did do differently this time. I got to take advantage of dodging and blocking, and that I will say. It felt really good, but you know what, Mr. J, your description of my characters continuing to dodge and block and moving like lightning fast and everything, I'm glad you made that description because it made me realize, yes, again, there's another way that your super fast, cybered up, Wired Reflexes character is actually able to, express that speed that they have in the game is through things like dodging and blocking and minor actions.
I'm glad you noticed that and pointed that because that's exactly what I was thinking of and trying to highlight with my description of what was going on there. Was that you got all these extra minor actions because you're wired to the gills, and so you're gonna move with some sort of extra preternatural celerity.
Yeah, exactly. So
those were just words that people only know when they play RPGs. Preternatural celerity is a
you can
an
tell
RPG
I played some
thing.
White Wolf in my days.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no other place, no other culture in which those 2 words go together.
Yeah. But I definitely appreciated that description because there's and part of the reason is there's been a lot of conversation in the community about whether or not, because of the fact that everyone only acts once now, technically there's only you only get 1 turn per combat pass regardless of how fast you are. A lot of people have been wondering, is that going to just totally hamstring or nerf wired up characters like Street Sams and stuff, and I don't
clearly not.
I don't
Right.
feel hamstringed by it. I have to say, I feel
Well, like, so if you could even take, what was it, like 3 or 4 aim actions, right?
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
boost your. You take 3 or
there's
4
so
aim
many-
actions and then do full auto, and it's basically the equivalent of going again and again and again. Well,
So,
not quite, but
There's something about the way this game plays that in some ways it's totally not like older editions, but it feels a little old school. This was something that Joel or Gardaman J brought up, I think, when he played, and he just said it felt a little bit like older school Shadowrun. And I remember one of the things I really liked about 3rd edition and before is you had this dice pool that was called the combat pool, and it was extra dice you could either add to your attack rolls or your defense rolls, or split it between them. And it was super important to manage how you used it and not get caught with your pants down with no combat pool left when a major attack came through. So these minor actions feel a lot to me like that old school combat pool, because you can use them to boost your attack with aim actions or boost your defense with taking cover and dodging and blocking and all that. And I really dig that.
yeah.
It's totally new mechanics, but it also reminds me of old mechanics that I liked.
And ultimately everyone gets to do more things more often, and I really like that. Like
Yeah, the one pass combat turn is
yeah.
probably my favorite thing in the whole edition.
I love it. And I don't even and honestly, you could argue that I'm the one who hurts the most from it, but I don't feel that way. Also, I have a lot of I have a lot of like potential sympathy for players like Sarah with her mage, because historically I've always played a mage, and so mages in combat can often be, especially in 5th edition, can feel like sluggishly slow,
So we've done a lot with decking so far. What if I switch to a combat shaman for the next show or two, just to see what that looked like?
We don't have one. Yeah, so is that that's why you're
That's
important?
what I'm saying. So Sarah's giving us one side, right? Like the spirits and the kind of backup. But what if we tried out because what I'm interested in is, because like Jin is a decker and he's fucking crushing it in combat, right? I mean he's on par with everybody else. I'm curious if a dedicated combat mage would be able to keep up with a combat character.
I don't think any character is going to be able to survive in this edition if they can't roll any hits on defense tests.
I'd just like to say, bite me.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I think I don't really want to do any sort of character swaps throughout. I'd rather we kind of continue and finish this out and leave the whole like field of magic for Danen to play around with, because she's got some combat magic capabilities as well.
I agree.
Don't
Bobby,
you? You've got a combat skill too. I wouldn't mind seeing you throw down some of that. I mean, if you get the chance and don't get one shot in the first round of combat.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there would have been an opportunity tonight to use that. She has one combat spell, and she calls that her exit strategy. So, she prefers not to unless she feels like she has to. So, and I think tonight she would have felt, but she woke up and she's like, "Danger gone. Okay, I'll just cry."
Yeah. Makes sense. That's what I would have done.
We're talking about the price of buying new skills. It's like to raise a skill. It's 5 karma times the new level, and it's 1 month times the new level of training time. So to get a new skill at rating 1, it's 5 karma, and it takes like a month. They're priced like the skill groups, and they take twice as long to learn as the skill groups did. If you look at the advancement chart in 6th edition, I have a feeling that's going to be house ruled a fair bit, because, oh my gosh, it takes forever to spend your karma on anything.
Yeah, because I think that's going to end up having the... So in 5th edition, you could easily say between runs, I'm going to increase this skill, and it's done, right? But with the increased... The big increase in training time, I feel like it's just going to have the downstream or side effect of adding more bookkeeping to your training, because you're not going to necessarily wait until you're done increasing your skill rating before you go on maybe another run. I don't know. It's just
I'm interested to see how it's going to play out in the actual play campaign that I run for the podcast, because there I've got a couple characters that are in debt. They have to pay a substantial interest payment at the end of each month on top of their lifestyle, so they're motivated to do more runs per month. But on the flip side, it takes forever to learn stuff. To learn stuff, I'm kind of leaving the system in play without changing it, at least at first, because I want to see how it plays out. Because as far as this playthrough, we're getting to try out a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, character advancement is outside the scope of this campaign. You have no time to raise your skills unless I suddenly make months pass between a couple of the sessions, which is not going to happen.
Right.
This is all happening in the next few days. And maybe with the mushroom cloud, we'll see.
Right. But anyway, with that, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks for some more Shadowrun 6th edition, toying around and playing with the rules and showing it to you guys. And we're having fun so far. And all this lead up in July, 2 more sessions before it's officially out for everyone at Gen Con. So... thank you, and well, that's it. That's all I got.
Good talk.
Crushing it, Bobby.
Thanks.
Check out our Twitch schedule. We got a bunch of stuff scheduled, and the Shadowcasters Network is doing our thing for at least another year. So that means more shows.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
See you guys around, and especially in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.